Hello.
Now I do we if nope. There we go. That's the right microphone.
Just really awkward. Just got me yapping on my own.
No, I'm there now. Everyone should be able to hear us. Hopefully.
Just wait 90 seconds for them to confirm. Oh. Yes. We
Yay,
got a
can everyone
response.
hear us alright? And are we loud enough? Oh, I wish I could hear the music. I need to figure that out.
Yeah, I nearly turned it up and then realised that I'd just be able to hear us talking.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I was just going quiet then because I was I was like trying to sort out the OBS stuff and I just completely like went silent. How is everybody? Oh,
What a day.
what a day. What a day, what a month.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, what a month.
It's it's gone incredible. Thank you to everybody, sort of as people filter in, but thank you to everyone that made it possible. It's been amazing.
Yeah, I haven't been super involved in like the choose your own adventure stuff, so it's been really fun for me just to watch everyone engage with it. It's just
Aston
been an ongoing entertainment for me.
Aston was doing the puzzles, like ahead of time and stuff, trying to see if he could beat them
Yeah, and
quickly.
you were all beating them faster than I could, which is, you know, I think you've got the upper hand because there's more of you, but
Yeah, that would make sense. To be fair, I got arrogant at one point because I was like on the portal one. I said to Aston, "Oh, I've got them now. I've hid one in the FAQ. There's no way." And it took 12 minutes.
by the time I'd replied going, "Oh, where have you hidden it?" someone had already found it.
Which was incredible. Who have we got? Oh, Brasso's here. Hi, Brasso. Hi, Wonderlight. Hi, Legacy Media. Not That's two separate people. Not Legacy Media. Cat. Um. So. Oh, you can hear my. I don't know if you can hear my dice rattling in the background because
Yeah.
I'm. um. What we thought we would do today, just as a bit of a celebration, is we thought we'd go over the preview PDF. We'd answer any questions anyone has. And we'd do the final roll, of course. And then maybe design some silt sails a little bit later on, if everyone was down for that. Because with the last campaign we did, we designed a bunch of monsters. We could still do monsters actually as well, because monsters is fun. But for this one, we thought
I
it might
think
be cool to do some boats.
we just for sure need to make sure that if we design a monster, it ends up in the book.
Well, listen, if we
Because
listen, sometimes you can spitball in, all right. There's no guarantee they're all going to end up. Some of them did.
I don't know. We still get messages about pyrite worms.
Well, the pyrite worm might yet appear somewhere. Who knows?
Well, pyrite feels very spacey, you know.
Does it?
Heard it here first. Pyrite worm in Lodestar. Confirmed.
That's no one's gonna get that.
I don't know. There's got to be at
Yes,
least one.
Brasso, they are Hoku's dice in the background. Again, no one's gonna understand that. Let me just. Yeah, Fool's Gold. Yeah, so we for our last book, Fairy, it was all Celtic. It was a Celtic folklore book, and we designed a dragon on stream that was a Fool's Gold dragon because all the dragons in that book are like there's an iron one, a slate one, and what was the other one a basalt one? Basalt.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
literally it feels
That one was the fiery one.
yes, yeah,
It was a fiery one, a cold one, and a magnetic one.
yes. Let me. Do you know what? I'm gonna get the PDF on the thing because there we go. So we can have it on screen and we can start talking about it and start going through it. I'm still, to be honest, I don't know about you, Aston. I'm still a little shell shocked after
Yeah.
getting close.
Just a little.
Really was not expecting this much support. It's been incredible. Oh, okay, I can hear the music now. Okay, that's so much better. It was so quiet.
I can't. I can just hear you yapping.
It was the same as always then?
Yeah, no fair. I hear it even when I sleep.
I'm just going to refrain from making the open goal joke there. Okay. Can everybody see the PDF? God, I hope I did this right. I think I did.
I think they can, because I can see it on the screen.
Okay. I'm just going to have to trust your word, because I can't tell. I feel like I'm really good at a bunch of things, and this just isn't one of them.
Oh, no, Connor, for some reason it's showing your webcam.
The webcam I don't have.
Yeah, are you in a onesie? This is real weird.
It's not, it's a mankini.
I see. Right, okay.
Okay, great. Amazing. Cool. It's going to take me a couple of minutes just to warm into things because, like I said, I'm still sort of, I still feel just sort of shocked by how it's all gone. We've had a crazy month. I don't know if anyone caught the podcast. We got to go on the Rotating Heroes podcast with Jasper William Cartwright at the start of the month. And then ever since then, things have felt just a little bit dreamlike, to be honest.
Yeah, the day you told me you got that DM, I was just like, what? I'm sorry, what happened?
Yeah,
Who DM'd you?
I didn't have my contact lenses in, so when Jasper messaged me, I was like, the phone was like 3 inches away from my face because I was squinting, trying to tell if it was actually him or not. Bizarre.
I think the moral is it was actually a faker the whole time.
Well, Jasper should be worried then because that guy did a great impression of him.
That's very true.
Yeah, so if you, alongside the stream, if you get chance, if you want to hear more about the book and like some, I mean, we'll talk about it a bit today. But Jasper did like an hour-long interview with us over on Rotating Heroes. And you can go listen to them on, where all good podcasts are available. And we talk a bunch about Lodestar and about us. And about a bunch of things. So there's a bit more information there. But today we thought we'd just go through the PDF and talk a little bit about the setting and what you can expect. And then a little bit we're going to roll a dice for the Choose Your Own Adventure, which you guys knocked out of the park, by the way. Smashed it. Especially
really
that last
nailed
one.
Every single goal repeatedly.
Yeah. It was wicked. So I will be rolling that D20 live. And it's really going to suck if I roll bad. But I don't tend to roll bad. I tend to roll good. I tend to be quite lucky, I feel like.
Yeah, for anyone that wasn't around at the end of Fairy, we did the same thing, and except it wasn't a success or failure. It was to choose between 3 rewards. And Connor rolled a nat 20, but before he rolled the nat 20, he promised everyone that if he did roll a nat 20, you would get all of the rewards.
And then I rolled a nat 20.
So he, then immediately proceeded to roll a nat 20.
No. There's not a nat 1 incoming. That's no. It's not. It's not a jinx either. It's confidence is the thing. This is that. It's just. It's raw, unfettered confidence. I'm gonna do a pre-roll right now just to see how I'm rolling. Oh, fuck.
Was that a nat 20?
No, it's not one. Alright, but that one doesn't count. That was a pre-roll. I said the word pre-roll.
Statistically,
I
won't roll 2 in a row.
I actually can't believe that was a 1. Right, well, we got it out the way. So that's good. That's all good.
I think on a nat 1, we just take everyone's money and run.
Yeah, on a nat 1, we commit a fraud. That'll be great. That'll work out really well for us.
Yeah.
Super well.
Leaving a live stream where we admit to that being our plan as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they always tell you not to leave a paper trail, but I find it's good to do the opposite.
Yeah. Especially when we're in court and they're like, "Did you plan on doing this?" And it's like, "No." It's like, "Well, we've got video evidence of you saying that you did."
You can just say it's AI. That's what you can do nowadays, right? That's a thing. Oh, Jericho Outdoors. I'm really glad you had a good time following the campaign. I feel like we put more effort into the like choose your own adventure and campaign engagement stuff than is recommended. But we just love it. It's so much fun. It's really fun watching everyone engage and coming up with a story and kind of writing it together.
It's also really nice seeing how invested you guys get. Like seeing all of the like in-character comments is so fun.
And some of you are better writers than we are, which is honestly inspiring in a way. Also, stop it. But in general, inspiring. There was some that I thought were film quotes when people were saying them, and it turned out they weren't film quotes. It was just people just off the dome, like talking absolute poetry.
Really, with very little time to come up with things as well.
Yeah, there was some crackers today, near the end. Some really good ones. Especially anyone who typed for all caps. I loved.
Yeah,
it was really good.
I think some guy just wrote a whole poem.
Yeah, there was. I think so. Yeah, it was wicked. It was really, really cool.
I also really enjoyed while we were killing the Kraken that someone took it upon themselves to be Master Gunner and was directing people.
Oh yeah, who was that? We should figure out who that.
I want to say Emily.
I feel like it was Emily as well. I was going to say Emily. Yeah, and they were like, "Go here and do this," and I was like, "I'm so glad someone's done that," because the one that worried me actually was the 80% one, the very first one, the debris one. Because some people were like, we should decide where we go, and then there was just loads of people that were like, fuck it, I'm just gonna pick one. And the very start of it, I was watching the skew, and it was, I think, 60%, and then the other one was like 30%, and the other one was 10%, and I was like, oh my god, this isn't gonna go well because no one's talking. But then it shifted as time went on. People discussed a bit more and made their choices, and it worked out. But I think it came to 82% by the end.
We've got the Master Gunner herself in the chat.
Oh no! Oh, as if you were killing it, Emily. You really were near the end there, because there was a few that I did a sneaky thing as well, and I put 4 up, and then I waited about 40 minutes, I think, and then I put another load up that I kind of hid a bit better, thinking I might be able to slip some past people. But then immediately I saw you and a couple of other people in the on the main post being like, spotted another one, get over there immediately, don't waste time, which was wicked. Saved the day. Um, I'm really
My favorite was the riddle one where people were just guessing.
again, it did the same thing as the 80% one, where there was just there's like a whole slew of people who I think when they see a poll, they just click it straight away. So like the first people to vote on it were just voting. I guess based on vibes, which I can't blame them. You know, like, well, no, there was a significant amount of people actually that I think voted for whatever the top option was, because that one went up first, and then it was people were just scattered to whatever vibes they wanted. But it
Which I
evened
think
out.
speaks to the community that we fostered.
Well, I have a lot of sympathy because I'm that group. I'm definitely the like C button, press button guy, and then go, ah, oh, shit, should have waited. Oh, I'm real. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, there was a bunch of people that it felt like I would like switch up the update sort of quietly, and then 6 people would immediately notice I'd done it, and I was just like, are people just sat refreshing? Because that's what I'm doing, but it's my job to do that. So it was like so wonderful just to see people like getting involved and helping us tell a story.
It's also really enjoyable that it means that all of these people have got an insight to how you DM, which is just full of lies and deceit for your players, trying to
Yeah,
slide information past us.
I don't do that.
No, of course not.
I'm truthful. Yeah. Once I sent Aston a document in our home campaign that had a bunch of secrets in it, and then I deleted the document and resent him a different document that had all of those secrets redacted, and then gaslit him for 2 years that I'd never sent him those secrets. And by the end, he nearly believed me.
I blame Connor for all of my trust issues.
Oh yeah, the anomaly hunters. Yeah, well, it was hard for us because I basically did the Kraken until like I think it was like 1 a.m. here, and I was like, I gotta go to bed. And I thought the Kraken would keep people busy long enough, but I woke up and there was like 40 cannon holes in one of the tentacles, and I was like, oh god, the people have been real busy. Yeah, Howler says I picked first and read the comments later. Same.
Yeah, that's real you vibes.
Yeah.
Wonderlight, the PDF will come out no later than autumn next year. We'll probably have a beta out sometime around the summer.
Mm-hmm.
No promises there though, but roughly around.
We like to keep it loose. We like to keep it's somewhat loose because obviously we're only 2 people. But with our last book, that was about the timescale. And if you're in the Discord, you get to have a look at some of the playtests, because we tend to release them on the Discord. We'll put updates out on the campaign page as well, but if you just want to see them when they come out, we have a whole like playtest section and like a whole workshop section in the Discord where we like talk about the stuff and get it all mechanically balanced before it ever goes to print. So yeah, so if you're interested in that, check out the Discord. Our main focus, I mean, we'll get into this in a minute because I think we'll go through this little preview PDF just to give us a bit of structure to talk about things. But our main focus off the bat is finalizing and then beginning testing on the ship system, isn't it, Aston?
Yes, that's the big one that we want you guys to kind of play with for as long as possible, so we can get as much of your feedback kind of rolled into the system as we can.
Yeah. We basically want to get the ship system into as many hands as possible, really. Like, so that we can really like test it. Because we want to make sure it working within the setting and the book is really important for us, but even it just working, you know, in general as like a potential system people can use in their Spelljammer campaigns or in whatever. You know, we really just want to get it up to scratch, so that was going to require as much testing as possible.
The playtests, Howler, are usually one or two of like the big mechanical pieces from the book. So with Fairy, we went through and one by one released all of the subclasses as individual documents.
Yeah.
So that way you could give us feedback on specific features as well. Because we find that if we try and do too big of a playtest and then also collect feedback on it, you guys don't really have much time to kind of fiddle with it.
Yeah.
So we try and do more focused ones.
Yeah, and then we'll release surveys usually a month later, so that people have about a month to like look it over, play it if you can. That's the real. The ideal is that people play them, even if it's just, you know, in little home game one-shot things, or just for half an hour with their friends or whatever, and then get back to us with the feedback when the surveys go out like a month later. This Jiroko. I want to say Jiroko. Is that right? Yeah, this is a Q&A. You absolutely ask questions away. That's you know, that's what this is about. Well, we're gonna use like we've got some stuff planned just so that we've got a bit of a structure to the stream. But please do like ask us questions. We want to answer. So the question was, what's the biggest hurdle of this Kickstarter so far? Probably, I would say the answer will be different for me and Aston, because Aston's still finishing work on our last book, getting that into fulfillment, which, you know, with manufacturing and then some of the tariff stuff and all these things, it's been a little bit slower than we hoped. So I'd say that the biggest hurdle for me was switching gears so quickly. Normally have a little bit more time between projects, but I think was it about maybe 2 months between when I finished work on Fairy and when this launched?
Yeah, it was. I think it was closer to 6 weeks.
Yeah. So so I had to get, like, for me it was like I had to get the whole campaign built, and me and Aston had to have sort of creative meetings and all these sorts of things in a much tighter time frame than we normally do. That was probably the biggest hurdle. But other than that, it's honestly been the smoothest one we've ever done, I feel like, and the most successful. So
it's very true. I think for me, it's like the kind of, because I'm like such kind of a wide-reaching nerd in terms of the media I enjoy. When we are conceptualizing stuff for Lodestar, I think I very easily slide into the sci-fi route. And I think the hardest thing for me is kind of trying to rein that back and get that balance right.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the treasure planet. Was it the 70-30 rule?
I keep promising people lightsabers, and Connor keeps shouting at me.
Because space fantasy is a very specific genre. It's fantasy in space. It's not sci-fi. But people can, obviously, we want to build rules that people can use for their sci-fi stuff if they want to. But the predominant niche we're trying to fill is like wizards in space, which means you don't have lightsabers, but, you know, a sword of the sun that just happens to, you know, that works.
Just a real quick, I'm skipping ahead a little bit just because this is a quick one I can answer.
Yeah.
Yes, Emily. So you can pick up Fairy and Tempest as add-ons for this campaign, and you'll be able to pick them up in the Pledge Manager afterwards as well. They are, if you don't want to wait, you can head over to our store and just download them from there as well.
Yes. I also think technically the pre-order store is still open for Fairy. Am I right in thinking that? Or is it, have we shut it now? If we haven't shut it, it's going to shut within probably like a week.
Yes.
So if you want a physical copy of Fairy, you can grab it via our pre-order store for the Fairy. I think I'm not sure how you navigate there actually, because it's no longer listed on the front of the campaign page for Fairy. We might be able to drop one in the comments if we can get a link sorted.
Yes, I'll do that. You answer what your favorite kind of soup is. Joshua wants to know.
My favourite kind of soup. It really depends on the time of year, Joshua. My auntie makes this like country soup, although I haven't had it in forever. But when I was at university, she made me like these big batches of it that I would freeze and put in the freezer, and it was like just like root vegetables. It was like autumnal root vegetables, and it had this like lovely golden colour, and it was like chunky in the right way, but not quite a stew. If you ask me what my favourite stew is, that's a completely different question. But soup, it would be my auntie's country soup.
I think, let's be honest, every British person has the same favourite stew, and it is beef and potatoes.
Wrong. Incorrect.
And
not my favourite stew.
I won't be accepting any of their answers.
My favourite stew was a stew my mum called cowboy stew, because it was corned beef stew, and I didn't want corned beef stew because I thought it was gross. So she said it was cowboy stew, and it's what cowboys ate. And I loved it and have eaten it since. And my partner to this day would attest to the fact that if you want to get me to eat something, convince me it's what cowboys ate, and I would eat it. I would eat. The idea of eating cold baked beans out of a tin is vile to me until I saw a cowboy doing it on a film, and then I was like, cool, love it now, big fan.
Connor, you've really kicked the beehive, because Kat does want to know what your favourite stew is.
Cowboy stew. I beat you to it. Cowboy stew. It's corned beef stew, basically. Which, corned beef's a thing across the world, right? Or that's not just the...
Isn't that one of those really British things that Americans look at and go, that's disgusting?
I don't know. I feel like... Oh, maybe. Maybe there's a different word for corned beef in the US? I'm not entirely sure.
Howler wants to know... how much of the story and all do you actually have done before you decide to go to Kickstarter, like percentage-wise?
In terms of the book, me and Aston, again, because we're such a small team, we basically have to... We launch these projects, and then that pays for us to then create the book, like over the next year. But prior to launching, we have long discussions. Like, we do a lot of the work, like not physically, but like mentally, where we talk loads and write notes loads about exactly what we want. So me and Aston know a ton about the setting and kind of what the book will have. We just haven't done the nitty gritty of like writing it out yet. But I have like extensive scratch notes, is the way I would say it. And the book has a skeleton. Like, we know the chapters, we know roughly how many pages they're going to be, we know how many illustrations I'm going to have to do. Although hopefully with Lodestar, it'll be less for me, because we've got some amazing artists already on board that will be taking part. So unlike Fairy, which I illustrated myself, this book will feature more artwork from other artists, which is wicked, including the two we have on board at the minute are two of the sort of Spelljammers OG artists, which is extremely exciting for anyone who's a big tabletop nerd, like old school tabletop nerd. We've got Paul Abrams and David O'Miller, who worked on a bunch of stuff, including like the original Rock a Brawl supplement and things like that. I might even be able to show
heritage being thrown in.
Yeah, some of the good shit. I might even be able to show a sneak peek of one of the pieces David's been working on, because it feels extremely relevant given the end of the campaign. But we'll see. We shall see.
What I'm hearing is the next project after Lodestar is a Western setting. Yes.
No
ideally.
comment. No comment. Can neither confirm nor deny. Maybe. Maybe.
Incredibly funny question, just based on what I know the answer to be. What inspired the name Lodestar for this setting?
So we have kind of got ourselves to, after we did Tempest was based on a home game, and then which I called Tempest because it was about a big storm at the middle of the world, and then that ended up becoming our first book. And then when we were doing the second campaign, we were like, oh, I'd love it if we could have like another single word name for the book. And then we picked Fairy, because again, it felt very fitting. It was about the world of Fairy. And then for this book, we were itching our heads for like an hour, it felt like, right? Where we were like just saying words back and forth to each other. And they either felt too nautical or too sci-fi. And Aston, you'd come up with a good one right before I said Lodestar, but I can't remember what it was. But we had like a work in progress one that was pretty decent.
Yeah, there was like a placeholder that was like, if we can't come up, I can't remember what it is either. But to be fair, if you just Google nautical words, you'll probably come up with a few of the names we tried out.
Yeah, and then I said Lodestar because I think the advantage was I'd run a pirate campaign for 3 years because our home game only ended last year in Tempest. So my brain is quite literally like stuffed with, as all DMs can relate to, I assume, stuffed to the gills with lore and tidbits and history and knowledge that you pick up whilst researching these campaigns. And Lodestar was just like firmly in there, and because it had star in it, so it feels kind of sci-fi. But Lodestar is obviously a very nautical, navigational thing. So yeah,
there's a few times when me and Connor are conceptualizing things where one of us will say a thing, and you can tell it's hit because both of us just go quiet for about 10 seconds as we mull it over.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's the one.
It's all done on feeling. I wish I could break it down into like a mechanic, like something a bit more like logical, but it is just like vibe.
Our entire creative process is vibe based.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Lodestar, then just a bunch of people talking about. Oh, they have heard of corned beef. I think it is in America.
Cool. Amazing.
Western setting. Reese Table, are the Stellar Shanties lost forever lost to the beyond? Is there any hope to make it happen somewhere down the line?
I would say never, because it's a personal thing that we would also love to be able to do something like that.
It's been a stretch goal on every single one of our campaigns.
To have music, yeah. We always set it at like the thing we don't think we're gonna reach, like just out of reach, because that way it feels like, oh god, it's just right. That would be like the thing we would be insane to achieve, is where we put that.
I think, yeah, also the thing that would be insane to try with next to no knowledge of how that works.
Yeah, I think it's a safety thing of us wanting to make sure we've got enough money in the project so that however much money it's going to cost to get that done and get it done well isn't going to suddenly have a massive impact on sort of the rest of the budget we've got. But perhaps it'll be the case of like a single song, a single shanty. I go to Cornwall like every year pretty much, and there's a group of blokes in a little pub down there who sing shanties like every Thursday or every Wednesday, something like that, in the pub. And I'd love to get like them in a studio and have them sing a bunch of shanties for us that we wrote for Lodestar. So at the minute I would say no immediate plans. The book is the immediate plans, but who knows? Who knows what could happen over the next year? We're definitely open to it.
Connor, they're just all talking about soup.
Soup's important, Aston. Soup's important.
Geek Lord Tony, will the Pick Your Adventure on the page be credited in the book as some sort of world lore piece? I think yes. So, well, not credited, but like with Fairy, the things that happened in the Choose Your Own Adventure are considered canon to the world.
Yeah, for sure.
So it means that there will be references to the Dawn Star like throughout the book. Potentially like, well, obviously all of the items you guys found will be in the book. Any creatures you guys fought during the Choose Your Own Adventure will be added to the book statistically, like you'll be able to run all of those. but also like the events that happened are considered canon to the world of Lodestar as we build it. So there might be something to keep an eye out in terms of like, oh, there's a small little reference to Captain Drakeheart and the crew of the Dawnstar, things like that.
Yeah. That just reminds me, like a peek in there is that Drakeheart was an NPC from our Tempest campaign, and the Corsair, the ship that you found, sort of broken apart in astral space, was the name of our adventuring party's first ship, which also was sunk.
I've been made to feel very emotional a few times during this campaign. And honestly, if anyone could like save me from this emotional abuse I suffer, I'd greatly appreciate that.
I'm gonna answer some soup questions just real quick. If you'll excuse me. Hold on a sec, Aston. Stop interrupting for a moment.
Okay.
I just need to answer these soup questions.
Okay.
Howler117 asks, what soup do they eat in Lodestar? I immediately think of the Treasure Planet, where I'm pretty sure there is like an eyeball soup in the Benbow right at the start. Or like something like that. Like there's like a weird alien soup that's like got eyeballs and grubs and stuff in it. So they eat that. Or some kind of like silk shark fin soup, which isn't cruel.
Wow.
Hold on a second. Don't cancel me just yet. It isn't cruel in Lodestar, because in Lodestar it's canon that all of the silk sharks are just really horrible bastards.
Oh, I get it. Cool.
It's canonical. Yeah. Bonza Beast stew. Dude, did you Google that, or did you just was that just off the dome? There's no way you just, because like you said, I know Bonza Beast stew, know you say that, but there's no way you just had that ready to go. There was enough time for you to Google that. Anyway, back to soup questions real quick. Hold on, I'm not done yet. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, but what soup is Lodestar, Connor?
What soup is Lodestar? Ooh, hold on. I need to think about this.
I think I've got an answer.
Okay, if you've got an answer, you go. You go, and I'll use that to stall.
It's a tomato soup, like a classic tin of tomato soup, but with something, maybe like a bit of herbiness to it, because I think it's a setting in terms of a vibe that we're all very familiar with, but there's something extra, you know.
So you saying that has immediately spurred in me the will to the need to go completely opposite to what you've just said.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Because, admittedly, classic. I totally agree. It's got a very homely, welcoming, comforting vibe to it. Totally agree. But also, like, I think the world has to be like fucking mental. So I don't know what would be the equivalent, like a chaotic
tomato soup with strawberries in it.
Oh, you know, this might be a bit of a too deep of a reference, too much of a British reference for anyone who's American. But there's this chef in the UK called Heston Blumenthal, and he's like a gastronomical scientist kind of chef. Like he does like crazy shit. Like he did one once that was hot. It was like a soup or something that was hot and cold at the same time. Do you know what I'm talking about, Aston? Have you seen that?
I do, yeah. It was at the Fat Duck, wasn't it?
Yeah, that. It's a hot cold soup.
Okay.
You don't know what you get until you get it, and even then you're unsure what it is.
Honestly, that's just the tagline for the Dragon's Vault. You don't know what you get until you get it.
But it'll be good. But it'll be good. Important.
Yeah, it will be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
That.
That was off the dome. I'm deeply impressed by Bonza Beast stew off the dome.
I'm autistic, and Treasure Planet is my all-time favorite Disney film. Is potentially the most relatable sentence I've ever said.
Yeah. God, what a film!
Right,
I might watch that as a success thing after.
We really need to stop talking about soup.
Need to? I don't know if we need to.
We should stop talking about soup.
Media Pro Media Prof Tyler. I nearly said Media Pro Tyler, but it's Media Professor Tyler. Use your proper title. What other sci-fi properties inspired this system? So many. I have so many. I've got a list that I am going to force Aston to watch because... And there's a few, actually, that you suggested as well, Aston, right? Like, there was a couple of animes and stuff like that that you...
Yeah.
Put on that list. We have, like, a list of things that we're both going to watch and, like, play and go through as we write so that we can really, like, get in the headspace as much as possible.
Yeah, I find... just for research and things, our brands of nerdiness kind of mesh really well together. Because, like, you're into films more than I am.
There's a Venn diagram with a lot of crossover, but there is also big areas where there's stuff you love that I've never seen and stuff I love that you've never seen.
Yeah, for sure. I've just been trying since the start of the Dragon's Fall to get you to watch anime, and it's not worked yet.
We'll see. I've watched some. I've watched, like, Attack on Titan.
There is not going to be a Soupy Way Galaxy.
Write that down.
No, I'm not writing it down.
I'm going to write it down. Yeah, so other sci-fi properties. I would say... not sci-fi. There's a bunch of 80s films that really come to mind because it's kind of the era where this genre, at least in the Spelljammery, Treasure Planet sense, kind of came about. There was some stuff in, like, the 50s sci-fi that is very... you know, pirate ships in space. But there's like Ice Pirates is a really bizarre 80s film. Again, it's a little bit more sci-fi in some ways, but you know. Big Trouble in Little China, which is not really a sci-fi film. It's just kind of a crazy 80s film, but it's one of my favourites by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell. That has a lot of energy that is, I think, weirdly relevant to what we're trying to capture. Obviously, there's Treasure Planet. There is also what was that? The mech anime that came up a few times.
Gurren Lagann.
Gurren Lagann. Yeah. Is that how you say it? How do you say that? I
One.
don't know how to say that.
I don't know. I'm not Japanese.
Is that why you said it so quickly so that no one could hold you to it?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. And then there is also like a solid 20-minute chunk of the film Stardust.
I was just gonna say Stardust. With the bit with like, Captain Shakespeare.
Yeah, half of that film not relevant to the vibe. The Sky Pirates bit where they catch lightning, super the vibe.
Yes. Yeah.
I've even as the anime guy of the two of us, I've not seen Cowboy Bebop. It's a big shame of me.
Oh, Captain Harlock.
Yes, that's huge one.
Yeah,
but like the edgy 2000s version, not the campy early one.
I don't know. Well, how early is the campy early one? Is it 80s? Because 80s anime is my shit. I will watch that.
It's got like, hold on.
There was some insanely cool stuff that came out.
Yeah, it is the 80s.
Yeah, that's the one. Not the edgy 2000s one, Aston. You're incorrect there. Campy. We want campy.
The theme song for the campy 80s one is fully like a quartet of women singing Captain Harlock.
That's the one I've seen. It's wicked.
Yeah.
Love it. Hold on. The comments have gone past. So there's some of the properties that have inspired. And then there's been a couple of video games as well. I can't remember the names. I did write a bunch of them down, but I can't find my list right now. We have a big long list that we'll go through.
Skies of Arcadia.
Yes, you mentioned that to me today. Yeah.
Really like obscure cult classic. I think Dreamcast exclusive game that is incredible. Very fun Sky Pirate vibes.
In terms of pirates as well, because it's not just because it's space fantasy. Space is more of a backdrop to the fantasy than anything. So there's a lot of films that are just pirate. There's a lot of like just pirate media that is like
Muppet. The greatest pirates movie of all time, Muppets Treasure Island.
It's one of them. It's up there. Tim Curry, incredible. There's also like obviously there's Pirates of the Caribbean, incredible series of films, 3 films. What a trilogy! No more films than that. And then
Five?
Black. No, there wasn't. There's only 3.
Ah,
Black Sails, the TV show. Secret of Monkey Island. Is there any others off the top of the head? Oh, Sid Meier's Pirates. Oh my god.
Oh.
Have you played Sid Meier's Pirates, Aston?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, good.
I've put far too much time into that game.
Same.
Much like every Sid Meier's game.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, that whole, like, any of the Civ games as well. Like, you sit down and it's like, I'll play half an hour, and then suddenly it's 3 a.m.
Do you know what's crazy? I never really played any Sid Meier's stuff. I had the one dip, and the one dip was Pirates.
That's the most you thing I've ever heard.
I just love the freedom of it, you know?
I can't tell you for, sorry, I'm just talking as if they know who I'm talking to. Howler, I can't tell you for Lodestar, but I can tell you for our previous campaign.
What was the question? I missed it.
I've lost it now. I have a non-soup related question. Not sure if you have the answer to this, but do you all know how many stats on Brits versus Americans buy your stuff?
It's mostly Americans because our marketing is handled by BackerKit, and they're a mostly American-based company.
And also, there's just so many.
There's more Americans playing D&D. We're trying to get the number up though. We're trying to compete.
In terms of stats for our previous campaign, Fairy, 179 of our physical backers were UK based, 950 were US, 355 were Europe, and 157 were rest of world. So it's roughly 6 times as many Americans as there are British?
Yeah, for physical.
Which is really funny because Fairy itself was all British folklore based as well, so it wouldn't surprise me if this percentage for Lodestar is lower.
Yeah, well, it'll be an interesting thing to see. Sorry, I'm reading comments. I'm catching up. Bioshock Infinite. I've never played it. Should probably play it though, because I feel like that will have some relevance.
Make sure you've got some good sleep before you play it. That is the most batshit insane plot to a game.
Oh really?
Yeah, it really goes off the deep end.
Love it. I'm here for it. I'm playing The Witcher at the minute though, so I've got to finish that before I dip into a game like that. Not that I haven't played The Witcher before. I've played it like 6 times, but I'm just hitting it again. Muppet Treasure Island is one of the greatest pirate medias ever. Definitely true. I assume Atheist Alan says a random soup generation table of weird stuff thrown together from the things caught in the silt is on the cards. It's always on the cards, Alan.
Why is it every time we do one of these streams, the community, and I love you all to bits, but you all latch on to just something? Because it was coins in Fairy. They wanted a goal.
Why you got to rally against it? Why you got to rally against it, Aston?
And now,
soup.
They all want soup.
Good soup. Rogue Galaxy for the PS2. Never heard of it. We'll look into it though. It's got words in the title that make me think it would be relevant.
And it was on the PS2, which
I do own a PS2, so
I can play PS2 games.
And we shall leave that there.
Yes. No.
Speaking of pirate media, as a question, where do you draw the line between references and original ideas in the book? As in, like, references to other things versus original ideas? I think the important thing with referencing other media is that it's done in good humour and as an homage, and never as, like, we're going to take this thing, make it our own, and then sell it back to you. Right?
Yeah, I think a good rule of thumb for our references, like both Tempest and Fairy can kind of attest to this, is the references never inform our decisions. It's never like we'll decide on a reference and then go, I want to build something around this.
Oh god, no.
it's often like we've got an idea for a magic item or an idea for a monster ability, for example. Or even if like a certain creature in a certain media has inspired the vibe of a monster,
Yeah.
we'll then kind of nod a little bit in one of the ability names. So it's never, we try and never make it jarring. So it is like, it's a nice little reference for those who know. But if you're not familiar with the source media, you're not going to look at it and feel like it's out of place.
Yeah. Yes. And I think like we always do like a couple direct references just because again it's part of like loving the genre, right? Is like referencing things that you love. But they're always like afterthought little Easter egg things. Like I think Tempest had a couple Monkey Island inspired items in it. So it had, I think Monkey Snot was one of them.
Is that from Monkey? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
From Monkey. Yeah. I'd forgotten about that.
And I think also there's like a peg leg item that is the leg of one of the people you meet in Monkey Island. So it's like little stuff like that.
That's a question we can jump on for relevant to the preview PDF.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the races you've added are you most proud of or excited about?
Oh, well, okay, great. Let's move to the PDF. God, ooh, thank you so much for that.
Only 50 minutes in.
Shut up, we're having fun. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Okay, let's have a look. So, can everyone see this? All right, I assume so. I'm not going to check. I'm just going to assume.
So obviously, I can, so I assume they can.
Obviously, in the preview PDF, we've got the Dreg with some awesome artwork from David O. Miller here. He sent me a bunch of sketches, just really quick to talk about the artwork. He sent me a bunch of sketches, like when you hire illustrators, and I'm saying this as someone who hires illustrators and is an illustrator, they'll often do thumbnail work for you. So you'll tell them sort of what you'd like, and then the first step of that process is them just sending a bunch of very rough sketches to try and get close to what you think might be cool. And when I approached David about doing the Dreg, he sent me a bunch of sketches back, which were all wicked, including the one that eventually became this one. And then I spent 45 minutes looking through them and deciding which ones were too slippery looking and which ones were too chunky looking, and then sending a very professional email to an incredible illustrator with a lengthy career doing this, just describing the various viscosities that I was trying to go for, like it was the porridge from the Three Little Bears. Not Three Little Bears, from Goldilocks. Three Little Bears? What's Three Little Bears? Doesn't matter. From Goldilocks. So before we get into any mechanics or lore, I just wanted to, just so you can see underneath the hood a little bit, that's how this sort of thing comes about. It's grown adults having conversations about how goopy something is. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Dreg. But we do have others that we can... Have we spoke about them anywhere? We spoke about them... Have we spoke about them anywhere, asked them? Some of the other ones?
I think... I don't know. I wrote all of the copy and I can't remember. Let's see. What have we talked about? So... Dreg, Sameling, and Chiton. We've given a little bit of...
Like, Chiton. Well, should we talk... Okay. Let's talk about those three then to start with. So... Yeah. The Dreg is... The pitch we had for Dreg was... Wouldn't it be cool if you could play Venom? Kind of thing. Speaking of references. It will get a little bit more of a build out in the actual book because I think it's such a bizarre thing mechanically that we need a bit more information on how you play these things in terms of like how that looks like at the table. But the basic idea is that you create...
It's such a weird mechanical idea. It's like you're playing a character who's not actually the character you're playing. It's the thing inside. You're essentially playing the brain of the character.
Yeah, kind of. So it's really up to you whether or not how you'd want to play it. Whether or not I think in my head I'd imagined that you would basically stat out your Dreg, and then you just need to create a really rough idea of the body that they're attached to, and it's basically like you're playing one character, but I think if I was to run this as a DM, I would have the DM play the Dreg, and I would play the character. In the sense that, like, I would be playing Brock. Is it Brock, the name of the guy?
Yeah, Eddie Brock.
Yeah, Eddie Brock, that's it. Yeah, that, like, you would be playing Eddie Brock, and then the DM would be playing the Dreg. So that you've got this voice in your head.
A slime controlling a meat mech is how Jiroko put it.
Yeah. But then, and we'll write about this again in the lore, the more expansive lore that will go in the book, which is that, like, the Dreg can be symbiotic or they can be parasitic. So you could have it that the Dreg is in full control and you're basically playing one character. Or if you wanted to go the more Venom route, you could have a bit more of a symbiosis thing where the Dreg has its own motivations but works in tandem with you. And it is definitely weird, but, you know, if you're trying to create like a space fantasy book, especially anything that's going to be something that will be compared to Spelljammer, obviously, you got to do weird. You got to do weird, and the Dreg felt super fucking weird. Yeah.
I think also, just in a fun transition, the Chitons. We're just really into making slippery little guys inside other things.
Yeah, I actually cannot wait to do the artwork for the Chitons. I like have it in my head so clearly. Do you want to talk about a little bit about what they are?
Yeah, so we love the idea of before we were going to put like big proper mechs in the book, we just love mechs. Mechs are rad. We all know they're the coolest thing about sci-fi. And Spelljammer specifically has something called Spirit Warriors, which are kind of weird necromantic dead bug mech suits. And we were like, that's rad as hell. I want to play one. And so the Chitons kind of evolved from that idea of what does a creature look like that the form you see is just a suit of armor, but not in like a weird construct way, more in like a biomechanical way. So the Chitons are very like squid-like creatures, very Dalek from Doctor Who, like little weak.
I was thinking a little bit about like War of the Worlds as well. You know those dudes.
Yes, yeah, like very weak, not intended. Fine in their natural environment of their aquatic homeworlds, but out in the big wide space, they're not very good at doing much. But they've developed these kind of semi-organic mech suits that are formed from like chitin of various creatures, like crab-like constructs.
I think we'll probably have like a species, like a monster stat block of the species of crab they use to build like their exoskeleton suit, like mech suit from.
Yes.
But yeah.
And yeah, just really rad, the idea of like, again, that kind of dichotomy of I'm just a little guy inside a big suit, and that getting to be your whole character, because then again, as a player, you've got the interesting questions of, do your class levels come from your mech suit, or do they come from you? Like, if you lose that mech suit, are you still a level 15 fighter? And that's like, I think we really like adding layers for players to play with their DM as well.
Have you ever thought about playing a turtle and wondered what would happen if this could come out of its shell?
Yeah.
You've wondered that, right? We've all wondered it. But yeah, that's the Chitons, which I'm equally stoked about. Again, mechs are rad. Speaking of stretch goals, we could go through the stretch goals as well. That would be cool after we've done the PDF. Maybe we should have a look at the stretch goals.
Yeah, and we can also potentially a little preview of one of the stretch goals finalized.
Oh, we could have maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yes, you can play Zoidberg, except if the weird fleshy Zoidberg was much smaller than the original Zoidberg. But yeah, you can play a squishy little fish creature inside
Do
a
you know what? I
shell.
don't actually know. I wonder how small they'll be compared to the. Because in my head, I was kind of imagining it like. But then I guess it's up to the player, isn't it? I suppose. Like, if you want to play literally a Dalek
Well,
that only lives in the head of it, you could do
or there's
that.
potentially just again keeping it in the Doctor Who route. Um, Potentially you could do the Ice Warrior route, which is
Oh, cool.
they're in all of the armor, but they are like floppy little tendril
That's kind
creatures
of what I
rather
was thinking,
than
right? Like the tentacles fill up the arms and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, cool.
That would be
This
wicked.
is how me and Connor do our job. We
Yeah,
just sit here,
yeah,
it's like, what would be coolest?
yeah. Um, yeah, the God, that's so true. And then,
Do you want to have a yap about the samelings?
yes. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to introduce samelings because I have such a clear picture of them in my head.
Yeah, because we've been talking about them for like
So
6 weeks.
yeah, well, what longer? Yeah, like what? Well, what happened was we were like, what species would it be really cool to have in like a sci-fi fantasy book? And there was obviously, slime was one, dope, and then it was mech suit kind of thing, cool. And then the other one, we were like, we gotta have a clone race. Like, you have to have a clone species. That would be really cool. But it's really hard to do that without it feeling just immediately super, super sci-fi. Like, very sciencey and. And then I was saying to Aston, again, this is the fucking bleed you get from being a GM all the time, which is that just your head is full of, like, world-building useless facts. And I was like, well, there's obviously a number of species that reproduce asexually in a way that is very similar to cloning, I was like, there's geckos, there's a bunch of species, I don't know if all geckos can do it, but there's a bunch of species of geckos that can just clone themselves, pretty much. And then obviously there's a bunch of plants that can do it as well.
Yeah, it's really funny because when we started having that conversation, you immediately jumped to dope lizards, and I immediately jumped to plants.
Well, because you mentioned the spider plant, which is what I was going to bring up the spider plant because I hate spider plants because they just clone themselves all over your flat and it's horrible. And these tiny little versions of themselves, they're just like on tendrils. Ugh.
Looking for ground
Just
to plant into.
just looking for things to stick themselves in. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So then we were like, oh, that would be a way to do like a clone species, a clone race that that felt way more fantasy in a cool way. So samelings are they're like 3 foot tall gecko looking plant people. So they're somewhere in between a plant and a gecko. And they're like, I guess they're like rocket raccoon sized, probably.
Yeah, I think that's why we settled on them.
Yeah, because also I just
small
love
little
weird little
plant
guys. I'm a big fan of weird little guys in things.
Yeah. That's all Connor ever plays whenever he gets a chance to play a character.
I love playing
Can I
weird
be a
little
weird
guys.
little guy?
I love weird little guys. It's either that or like a werewolf, or like
Yeah, we know.
go far the other way. Listen, don't come at me for that. All right, werewolves are cool. Anyway, so yes, so samelings are, and they're all produced like asexually, by the kind of like out of a hive, I guess. But they don't. It's not like they have like a colony. They kind of just are like built-in wanderers. Like they just sort of appear and then immediately want to just go do stuff. I know that sounds very amorphous, but they just have this built-in drive to just kind of like fuck about and find out. Which in my head I'd kind of imagine was like it develops as a bit of a, like the evolutionary development of that would be like the whole reason they produce so many of themselves is
they've got like lemming level.
Yes, exactly. They like lemming test the world basically, which has led them to being able to become part of space travel. But they do just have this like devil may care, they sort of pop into the world like ready made. They're all obviously very different from one another internally. Like there's this, you want to give players the freedom to be able to play however they want.
If there's another thing that Connor likes as well as strange little guys, it's pure chaos.
Yeah, that's true. So these guys, that's what these guys are. And I'm really excited for them.
And also, it was really fun because we were talking about the idea that everyone talks about how cool it would be to play a clone race. But then as a player, you immediately go, how can I physically distinguish my clone from all the other clones? Because everyone really likes the idea of playing a clone until they realize it makes them look like every other clone on the planet.
Yeah, it's like Captain Rex. It's like, you got to have a cool helmet. You have to have something.
And with plants, the idea is that they have different like foliage and trim their hair, quote unquote, in different ways. So they have different plant growths surrounding their head and body that help distinguish them. So you've still got a little bit of that like character design aspect for the people that like doing that, without just being like, I play generic Sameling number 7.
Yes. Yeah.
That is what hats are for, but I would argue that hair is a built-in hat.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. So that would be that side. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what's crazy? I obviously haven't done the art for them yet, and I'm like, but I know exactly what they're gonna look like. It's gonna be wicked.
I feel like you're gonna give it a great sword.
I don't know what. Maybe. Yeah. I know I'm gonna give them like the really big, like, you know, like geckos have this kind of like really wide apart, massive eyes.
On the sides of their head.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So goofy looking.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing. They're gonna be adorable and problematic in like, it's the kind of thing that someone's gonna play and is gonna just cause issues. At the table.
And we can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a lore reason as to why you're allowed to act like a complete little shitbag.
It's like, no, GM, I don't search for traps. I just run down the corridor.
Yeah. 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 I might need to give them like, maybe we'll have to give them like a regenerative thing or something. If like, just like, you know like the goblins from like Warcraft.
Yeah.
Where it's just like they're just like
not
absolute nut jobs.
Not Warcraft. Warhammer.
No, I was thinking from Warcraft.
Oh, because the orcs in Warhammer are also plants that can regrow.
Oh no, I was thinking of like, you know how like the little are they goblins or are they trolls or whatever in Warcraft, where they're just like crazy little guys who like get in contraptions and build. Yeah, like.
Oh yeah. Also the.
And they have like the
honestly. Just any small green guy in fantasy media is usually full of chaos and explosions.
Yes, that's what we're making. I don't know if the plant growths will be seasonal. Maybe. I mean, it might be that it might not be that they're mechanical. It might just be that like we write some stuff into the lore, and we kind of want to. Obviously, personal expression is a big part of a role-playing game. You know, it's part of the role you're playing. So, I'd be totally open to. I'd want to make something that players could really, you know, decide for themselves how their character expresses in that way. The thing we have to make sure of is that if they reproduce asexually, that player characters can't just do that, because I know players, and that will become I'm not going to give them a built-in simulacrum from level 1. I promise that.
Yeah, but Connor, what if they could just make a villager railgun just by themselves? They don't even need the villagers anymore.
Well, could you give them, like, you know how like lizards shed their skin? Could you give them like a shed their skin ability that just lets them create like a useless facade of a person that they could use as a decoy? Or are we getting too weird now? Probably getting too weird.
No, I'm writing that down.
Yes, so that's the Dreg. We'll have just we'll quickly look at the wizard subclass, and I'm obviously going to hand off to you, Aston, because like this is your baby. I mean, the art is my baby, but everything around it is you.
I love wizard with a gun in every every form of media. Honestly, I think there has never been either a gun-wielding character that wouldn't be better with magic, or a wizard that wouldn't be better with a gun. And
for the record, I have disagreed with Aston on this. Aston played Red Dead Redemption 2 and I was like, that game
Magic?
is great. It would be so much better if they were also magic. And I spent 20 minutes trying to convince Aston how bad that would be for the for the story and everything. To no avail.
So I made a wizard with a gun.
Yeah.
So it was kind of... Obviously, there are lots of gishes in the game in terms of, like, melee spellcasters, but there's not many kind of arcane ranged weapon users, and I think that's intentional because if you're at range, why not just use spells? But I really wanted to just make a wizard with a gun that wasn't just Blade Singer, but at range.
Mm.
And I was like, when I was working out the rough mechanics of it, in terms of damaging spells for wizards, you've got 3 options. You've got attack roll spells, you've got AoE that are centered away from you, and AoE that originate on you. So you've got, in top to bottom, you've got spells like Scorching Ray, spells like Fireball, and spells like Lightning Bolt. And a blaster wizard will generally make use of all of those. And so I wanted to not just kind of make the attack roll spells the focus of the whole party. So with the arcane armament feature, you've got a choice between 3 weapons, and each of those weapons will let you... It buffs a certain type of one of those spells, like one of the 3 kinds of those spells. And I will admit, there are some novel mechanics in there. Like, one of the top level features lets you just attack instead of causing a creature to make a spell save, which is an interesting one, and I'll be interested to see what people think about that one.
Yeah,
because
the first
definitely one of those.
It's
that
worth
I was
saying that
writing it and I was like,
the first playtest feedback thing we'll release will be actually like a form before we release it'll be with a playtest packet, but the form will be about this preview content, so that anyone who's seeing this, if you want to, now's the starting pistol kind of. Like, if you want to go play them, look through them, give them a go, test them out, like roll some dice, these will be the first things that we will be trying to get some feedback on, for that exact reason, just to see what's broken, if anything.
Yes. No, you don't need special ammunition or any ammunition. So they generate their own ammunition, but also the weapons count as focuses for your spells as well. So instead of a staff, you can cast Fireball from your gun, because that's rad.
Yes.
And also later on at 6th level, you get the ability to switch between the guns, so you don't have to kind of lock yourself into an archetype. Because especially with things like the revolver that focuses on attack roll weapons, there are very few of those at high level in the game. So if you've spec'd your character into that, we didn't want to kind of lock you out of the other really fun stuff you can play with. And then the 10th level feature is just the coolest shit. Counter shot, being able to shoot a missile or spell attack just out of the air with your gun, incredibly sick. And gives you a little bit more of that kind of survivability, but also support.
Yes.
Like, it's like counter spell, but it also can fuck with martial attacks as well.
Did we we change that from their original thing that we had for it, wasn't it? Was counter shot a thing I worked on you with? I think it was.
The original version of counter shot was they could essentially counterspell by attacking spellcasters.
Yes.
But I think we established, like you pointed out, that would get a little bit niche.
Yes.
Like much like counterspell is, like, some campaigns it'll be the best feature you've got, but in other campaigns it will just never get used. Yeah. Whereas especially in a pirate campaign, everyone's always shooting at you and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So the ability to, like, shoot a bullet out of the air before it hits one of your allies, things like that.
Yep, it's fucking sick. I'm like, we're obviously gonna run some Lodestar home games, and I'm gonna have to run because, of course, and I've had 3 of the home game group already say they want to play that one.
Yeah, it's really fun because me and Connor obviously work very collaboratively with stuff, but occasionally one of us will kind of go into a bit of a hovel and just come out 3 days later, like presenting the thing they've made. And the spell powder was definitely that for me, where I was like, I've got a brain worm and I need to do this. And I just wrote for like, it was a whole train ride, like a 2.5-hour train ride. And I just got a whole class done, and I was like, here you go, Connor, I'm done.
And it was perfect. We didn't have to change much at all, really, which isn't always the case with stuff like that. Like, a lot of the time we do have to change quite a lot. And it was just, that's how you know it was made with like passion and enthusiasm, you know?
Yeah, I think especially because of like we like the game we designed for.
Yes,
And
that's
it's
true.
like the spell powder subclass was built as a character that I would like to play, which means
Yes.
I didn't want it to be overpowered, because if I played it, I didn't want to feel like I was broken, because that takes a lot of fun out of RPGs.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want it to be underpowered, and I wanted it to have a lot of options. Like I almost design, if I'm designing something that I want to play, I design it very selfishly, which I think leads to good design, because it's like I am also a player of the game that we designed for.
Yeah, that's an important point, I think.
Yeah, because I think it's quite easy to be like, conceptually, we're going to come up with a subclass and then not really think about what it's like to actually play that subclass.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we are as close to the game as possible. Like, the thing that we're making things for, you know, will always be as close as we could be to it.
Yeah, it's like we're not going to put like a Space Marine subclass in your fantasy game. Like, all of our stuff feels like it could be made by Wizards of the Coast in terms of vibe.
Bold. The boldest claim we've ever made.
Hear me out.
We want to. I know what you mean. We want to respect the philosophy of the rule system we're creating for. I totally get it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I completely agree.
And that's why we added a cyborg fighter to the book.
We're gonna have to go through stretch goals next, because I really am stoked about it. I just need to read through the comments and make sure, is there any anything we might have missed?
Using the guns with higher spell slots increase the caliber if you want it to. The guns, so the 3 guns that the spell powder use, they're laid out as class features at the minute, just because that was the best way to present them for the preview PDF. But the revolver, the hand cannon, and the blunderbuss will all exist as mundane weapons within the book. So if you want, like, when you upcast Fireball for your hand cannon to get bigger, that would be rad as hell.
It would be. If you look at rad as hell in the dictionary, that's what's there.
Yeah. It's a guy with a huge cannon shooting a fireball from it.
Yeah. Right.
Possibility of late pledges. Yes. Well, so we'll have the campaign pledge manager and pre-order store up relatively soonish.
Yeah.
Probably not next week, but the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me and Aston are going to take a week off post-campaign.
God, yes, please.
Because we both need
and so
it.
we'll... Yeah. So you'll be able to pick everything up. Not everything, like the full tiers won't be within the pre-order store, but you'll be able to pick up most of the add-ons and, at the very least, the PDF in the book.
Yes. Yeah, you'll be able to grab a copy, for sure. Right. So where are we? Do you need any special or magic ammunition? No, but we might create some magic items.
I already answered that comment.
Oh, sorry. It's because you're dipping back. You went back. You just answered a question right behind it.
No, I didn't.
You did. Max Blash's question about late pledges was right before A. Jackal's question.
Oh,
about
it's
special
because
magic ammunition.
All right.
Well then.
In my defense, I'm very tired. It's been a long week.
It has been a long week. Do you have something for the different crew roles on the ship, like if you were playing the ensign or cook? Yeah, so the ship system has roles built into it. We are still figuring out exactly what that's going to look like. We did a ship system for Tempest that we are really proud of. And if you have Tempest, or you want to go check out Tempest, I recommend it. The ship system is the best part of that book to me. It was the most original piece of like mechanical design in there. and it had roles, and like the Tempest ship system, we want to create ability score agnostic roles so that anyone can play any role. Like, we don't want just like the charisma character to just ipso facto play the captain, or play, you know, the quartermaster, or, you know, that kind of thing, or like the guy who's good with guns to be the guy who has to play the gunner or a gunner, any of those things. So what we're in sort of trying to figure out at the minute is if it's possible to create a bit more of like a feat-based progression system for the roles, where you can kind of build out, you sort of have some core role abilities that you get during ship battles and stuff, and then if as you progress as characters, you can attain sort of your own choice of new additions to like carve that into however you want. That was the last thing we spoke about, wasn't it, Aston, actually, about like the ship system, was like trying to make it, we don't want it to be overbearing or overcomplicated, but we do want to reward choices and, you know, not force anyone into a specific archetype that maybe doesn't fit their character just because, like, you're the wizard, so that means you have to be the most wizard adjacent. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also like the thing we keep saying about it is easy to pick up, difficult to master. So like there's a lot of nuance to it, but you don't have to like slam down a 60-page manual in front of your players for them to be able to like just play a ship combat.
Yeah.
And as well as making it ability score agnostic, so players within D&D can play whatever kind of role they want. That also means that, like, if you do just want to play a little bit of like a fun ship skirmish game, it's going to be not standalone, but it's going to be kind of compatible with either other systems or just kind of play on its own. So it's not going to rely on your character other than the choices you make within the system itself.
I literally couldn't have put that better myself. Bang on.
Thank you. How soon will backer kit charge for the pledges? Soon. At some point over the next couple of days, you will usually get it.
Yeah, normally it happens immediately, doesn't it? Like once campaign ends, they begin, it attempts it.
Yeah, but even if it fails the first time, I believe you get 2 weeks to update your card details.
Yeah.
Before your pledge becomes forfeit. But even then, once you get transferred over to the pledge manager, we can charge then.
Howler asks, what kind of DMs are you? I'm very OCD and try to plan for every eventuality that my players will make, but I know a lot of people are just off the cuff. I'm so far off the cuff that I'm not sure I was ever on the cuff.
I'm such a vibes-based DM.
I run full sessions with zero prep sometimes. I prep no notes. I just wing it.
Yeah, I know where I need them to be at the end of the session.
Yeah, I think I do.
I
do like a loose sketch. Some sessions are way more prep heavy than others, but in general, it's like I treat it like cinema. Like, here's where we need the characters to be by the end of the film, and then everything in between. Then I'm like, let's see what my brain coughs out when they ask me questions. Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know if because one of my players was in here earlier watching, and I hope he's not still here. But just as an insight, there have been times mid-session where I've been planning combats, where it's like as the players are going through a place, I'm like, oh, it'd be rad if this creature came in. Hold on, are the stats for that creature? And I'm literally, as the players are like role-playing between themselves, I'm Googling the stats for like a purple worm, and I'm like, interesting.
I'll see your improvising prep combat, and I'll raise you. I've run combat without having a stat block in front of me before.
I think this is potentially the gift of doing this as a job.
I was just going to say that, is I've looked at so many stat blocks right now that I could improvise one mid-combat, but that is a big old privilege of getting to do this all the time. And to be fair, it's not that I improvise. I do, as I'm improvising it, I write it down, so I don't. It's not like it exists only in my head. But if the characters get attacked by a creature, and I'm like, I don't have stats for that creature, but I've written 200 different stat blocks, and I've read 1,000 different stat blocks, I can improvise one on the spot now.
Cam is in the chat still, which is very funny.
See, this is the thing,
I
Aston.
think,
Cam already knew that about me. Cam's not shocked that I do that. Cam knows I
yeah,
make it
I
all
don't
up.
think that. I don't think the level of my improvisation has ever come out publicly before. In terms of how dashing to Japan, great username. It's mostly just practice. Like, we do it because we're paid to do it, like making things. But I think the best kind of practice for you to be able to improvise things like stat blocks is just make a bunch of stat blocks. Like,
Also, I'm
find.
Aston's giving you the proper advice. I'm gonna give you like the uncle advice. They're never gonna know. They'll never know.
Oh no,
They
for
don't
sure,
know.
they're never gonna know.
It's the Wizard of
That-
Oz, dude. You're behind the curtain.
For
They
sure.
think you're a wizard. It's fine. Just as long as just don't open the curtain, and they'll never know.
But if you want to know, if you want to write stat blocks for you then to go back to later that are at least semi-cohesive, just make a bunch of them. And then at that point, you be like, for anyone in the Discord, there was a running joke for about an hour a couple of weeks ago about Space Santa for Lodestar.
Yeah.
And I just made a stat block in about 20 minutes, and I think it was pretty fun. And it's like, that's the sort of thing I kind of... Also, just an insight into how deeply nerdy I am. Sometimes I'll just prep things that aren't for my D&D session, just because I want to make a creature. And I'm like, that's a fun thing I did.
Yeah.
And then I try and find a way to cram them into one of our books.
Although Santa probably won't be appearing in Lodestar.
It's going to appear in the Christmas one-shot that I...
God, I'd love to do Christmas one-shots. I'd love to do stuff like that. If there were more than two of us, that might be possible.
It's alright, I'll illustrate this one.
Although there's, we are fully 2 people now. So, who knows what's possible.
Connor, that doesn't mean anything because they didn't know we weren't before.
I know, but I'm being cryptic because I enjoy it.
No, that's true.
Yeah, previously Aston worked mostly part-time for us, and now he's full-time as of Lodestar, which is very exciting.
Oh yeah, no saying. That was like fully, I started designing that when someone made a joke about Space Santa, and I think it was about 20 minutes afterwards I was just like, here's Space Santa.
Yeah. Sometimes we make stat blocks just as bits to like...
Yeah, we've done it. There is... it's repeatedly happened where it's just like, how funny is this?
Yeah. That's such a... I didn't realise until now just what a specific niche kind of dork thing that is to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Soup will appear in Lodestar, can confirm. Soup will appear in Lodestar. Definitely.
Okay, right. I understand I've just gone full-time with this company, but I think...
You don't get to say, sorry. It's going to be lots of soup. Plenty of soup. It's mostly soup, actually. I've just decided.
But yeah, I realised I just very quickly glossed over that. Yeah. When we've been talking about being 2 people for the last 3 years, it's actually been Connor full-time working his ass off, and me doing as much as I can while also working another full-time job. So we've actually been 1 and a bit people.
Yeah.
So...
Indeed.
Yeah, it's... Hopefully, that means that Lodestar is going to be...
Quicker and smoother.
Twice as good.
Or
Saying it now.
0.5 times as good. We were 1.5 people, now we're 2.
It's true. Okay, I'll allow it.
Speaking of stat block,
Vindace,
I just got the asteroid mimic up in the background.
Banned from the Discord.
Don't abuse your position. Soup.
As community manager, you're all banned from the Discord if you mention Soup.
As company director, I like Soup. Big fan of Soup. Good soup. Right, should we... I don't think we need to really look at the asteroid mimic other than the fact that it's cool. Also, actually, really quickly, I do want to mention about the asteroid mimic. I don't know what the hell a Langolier is. I do now, thank you, internet. But I have done nothing but field comments for the last 3 weeks on our marketing posts about how these are Langoliers. And I didn't know what a Langolier was.
Oh, The Stephen King things.
Yeah, the flying meatballs that I think was made into a TV movie in the 90s or some shit. And like,
Yeah.
apparently every third person who saw one of our adverts on Facebook was one of the 6 people that watched that show. It was so obscure to me, and normally I'm quite good at the old like obscure nerd stuff, and I'd never heard of them before.
Yeah.
And I spent like 6 hours on this piece, and now it's ruined because of that. So
yeah, there is also just a huge. It can't be ruined for you, Connor, because there was also a huge chunk of those comments just telling us how we're going to get sued by Disney.
that's true for the yeah. Do you know what? When you said that, I got nervous. Then, like it was Voldemort, and they were going to come find us, even though we haven't done anything.
Oh, because we've said Disney out loud.
Yeah, it's like Bloody Mary. Yeah, just Mickey Mouse is going to appear around the corner with a cudgel.
Well, no, they'll get here and see everyone talking about soup and be like, "These guys aren't a threat."
Oh god. To be fair, a whole little cookbook of just space fantasy food would be wicked. Unironically.
Completely pivoting away from RPGs into cooking.
That would be rad. That would be cool as hell. You're damn right. Disney doesn't own the rights to Space Pirates. I've been yelling this from the rooftops.
But a lot of people really think that when you use the words "inspired by" and use the word
that was it. It was just the word "inspired."
Oh yeah, inspired by Treasure Planet. Oh, and also some guy told us we were going to get sued by Hasbro for using D&D.
He's a little confused. He's a little confused. He got a little confused. It's okay. We all get it. We all get it. Listen, Brandon Sanderson said when you're selling a book, you got to pick 2 properties that already exist and just tell everyone it's those 2 things combined. So really it's his fault. Anyway, yeah. Moving on.
And technically, we use the same platform as Brandon Sanderson, so we're basically co-workers.
You can't say that.
Right? Right? That's how that works.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, we're sold in the same shop as Brandon Sanderson.
We spoke to a person who spoke to him, so we're only one person removed. It's the same thing.
Let's see. You get it.
It's the exact same thing. Right, I'm just getting the stretch goal artwork up.
Yeah, big book is... Yeah. We're going to get sued by books because we're making a book.
Everyone knows Big Book is litigious. Big Book.
Right, that's it. Right, Vindace, we're going to have words about your Christmas soup.
Christmas soup?
The real Treasure Planet is the Christmas soup we made along the way. Yeah, Lodestar is part of the Cosmere canon. You could take it from me, an official spokesman for Dragon Seal Publishing.
You... Wait. Stop saying things out loud. Imagine if you made so many jokes about getting sued for things that you just did that to us.
Got sued?
Yeah.
Yeah, and somehow it's Sanderson that sues us instead of Disney or Hasbro.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can
big
figure this
paper.
out real quick.
Big Paper do hate to see us coming.
Big Paper?
Yeah. The Big Book is suing us, and so is Big Paper.
We're getting lost in the weeds.
Webster Dictionary has copyright claims against all of the works of writing because they own the trademark to all words ever.
How do I... OBS is complicated. There we go.
Hey, look, I can take on Big Soup. Campbell's ain't got shit on me.
Is Campbell's still considered Big Soup? I suppose it is.
I think it's more in America than it is here. Over here, it's Heinz. Heinz is Big Soup over here.
Heinz is Big Soup. That's absolutely true.
Everyone's saying hi OBS.
Oh no, hold on. God, I can hear myself.
We're really good at this, guys. We do it a lot. I'd like to not sleep with the Campbells. Like, just sleeping in soup sounds like it would be awful. Yeah, Heinz makes soup over here. Like, if you go and buy soup from a supermarket, it's mostly Heinz if you get tinned soup.
I can't believe how long you've been talking. I really do appreciate you vamping this long whilst I try and figure out how to.
Well, Vindace was confused that Heinz has soup. Howler said Heinz is big ketchup in the US. Dashing to Japan said the Bean Company makes soup. Are Heinz a British company? Because I feel like they have a much bigger presence over here than other places.
I don't actually know. I assume so. Right.
Connor, I really hope you're getting close. I'm running out of things to say about Heinz.
There
We're
we
gonna
go.
get sued by Heinz next.
There we go. Can everyone see that? That should be the stretch goals.
I can't see it, but I don't know if that's because I'm waiting for the thing to catch
Give
up.
it a second. Okay, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah.
Oh, I still can't. Has mine crashed?
I think it might have.
Oh yeah, it has. There it is.
Hey, okay, great. Cool. I don't know why, actually, if I move this over, all that. No. I don't know why it's scaled the way it is, but I'm going to leave it, because who cares? As long as you can see the stretch goals. So, let's have a look. Let's go through some of these stretch goals that everyone's unlocked, and then after we've done that, I'm going to roll the dice for the choose your own adventure.
And before that, probably explain what they can win.
Yeah, well, I'll set the stakes. I know how to set the stakes before a roll, Aston. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Just checking.
Yeah, so 20k. These first few we sort of set up because, in a way of like, these are the ones that we were most confident would get into the book, and that we really wanted in the book. And then as it gets on, you start to see like the stretch goals as we go on get more and more wish fulfillment from Aston and myself.
Yeah, is there a stretch goal we didn't think wouldn't happen? Is most of them past a certain point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we can tell people what we thought. I know what I thought we'd fund for. Me and Aston had bets what we'd fund for before the campaign launched.
Yeah, I was the closest because I bet.
You pretty much bang on.
Yeah, I was 260. Connor was.
I was 180, wasn't I? And even that, I only bet 180 because you wouldn't let me bet lower than that. Like
I was 250. I was 250. Sorry, so yeah. I was only 3.5k off. And yeah, Connor bet 180. Connor is. I am always the one that bets more than I think we're actually gonna go for, and then somehow we still went above that this time.
It's my job to be pragmatic when it comes to the business side of stuff, even if I'm a complete agent of chaos the rest of the time. Okay, so at 20k, you all unlocked the spacefaring subspecies. So that basically means, as it's like asteroid dwarves, void gnomes, basically creating sub-races, subspecies for the like core D&D fantasy races, which we did a little bit of in Tempest as well, and like people really love them, and we really love designing them as well. Plus asteroid dwarves, I can already see them in my head, and that's always a good sign. I have no idea what a void gnome might exactly look like. I have kind of an idea. I was thinking like a bit like the Awoken from Destiny, but gnomish.
I was thinking that they were small because they were condensed by the higher gravity of black holes.
So they're not technically gnomes.
Yeah, they're actually like elves that have just
That's-
been shrunk.
Oh, it's an elf
through
subrace.
Yeah, it's the elf subrace, void gnomes.
Just crushed by the massive weight of gravity to the point where they're 4 foot
Yeah.
tall.
But like over generations.
Um, um, we are so in terms of the species we can do, we can only do the ones that are SRD, like ones that are covered by the OGL, the Open Gaming License. So that would mean we can't do any of the species that were like added in later books. Like we couldn't do Tabaxi, for example, or what are some of the other ones? I'm blanking now.
So, I was just finding it. Where character creation. Just opening the SRD. In terms of what we've got to play with,
Yeah.
we've got Dragonborn, Dwarf, Elf, Gnome, Goliath, Halfling, Human, Orc, and Tiefling.
Oh, Goliath is SRD now.
Yeah, I think that must have got added in the.
That was
Creative
because
Commons update.
originally that's Volo's.
Yeah, because this might be the 24 SRD.
Oh, okay.
Either way, it's the basic races.
Yes. So we won't be able to do any of the more exotic ones, unfortunately. At least not officially. We, if we have a little bit of time, we do like to just occasionally do a little, For example, like the Witch, the class we designed for our last book, the Witch. We've built a spell list for that class that isn't SRD, that we're going to post up in our Discord and a few other things that we can't sell because it's not SRD. As we couldn't put it in the book as part of the list. But for players who want the full list, we'll do that, and maybe we will with some of these other species and races. But the core ones, particularly Dragonborn, is the one I'm really stoked for. Not because I have any idea what that's going to look like, but Space Dragonborn fucking slaps. I'm all about that.
Just double checked, we can't do Goliath, but we can do Tiefling, which is fun.
That's cool, Space Tiefling. That means really dipping into some space demons, which are also rad. Space devils.
Which also ties into the planar cosmology stuff of the next stretch goal.
It does. Oh, what a segue. Let's all just pause for a moment and appreciate it so that it ruins the segue.
Joe, it is using 2014 is the plan.
Yeah, I think we are going to keep 2024 in mind. So if we can do things, if there's a choice between doing things that would make it easy for people with 2024 in mind to still to not have issues, then we're going to do that as well. We know how to play 2014, but a lot of 2024 is compatible, and the ship system entirely should work with either for absolutely almost system agnostic in that sense. So a large portion of the book will be completely compatible with both. It might just be some of the player stuff that requires a little bit of tweaking, but no big deal.
Dashing to Japan, I'm moderately offended that you thought we would do a space setting and not include space dragons.
Oh, the space dragons.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Right. Planar shipwright. So we hit 30k. Got planar shipwright. So obviously some of these things we're talking about require a bit more intimate knowledge of the ship system, but ships basically work as they have munitions are usable items that are part of the ship system. So it's stuff like wake bombs and things like that, bombs you can throw off the bow of the ship. Tempest had deployable hazards, which I think we'll probably be doing another version of, right? Like small black holes you can deploy and cool shit like that.
Don't forget Barrelomimics.
The Barrelomimics. Yep, that's an Aston original. So for planar shipwright, we basically wanted to have a stretch goal that wrapped all of that cool planar cosmology of D&D into upgrades in munitions and even some fully made ships that draws from that kind of thing. Which means, like, in my head, and you can talk about this as well, Aston, a little bit, but like obviously you've got the elemental planes. That's like a no-brainer. But obviously you've also got all of the other. Is there 16 on the Great Wheel of Cosmology?
There's one for every alignment, right? So there's 9 for the alignments. Then there's the 4 elementals, so that's 13.
And then
Material,
astral
14.
and ethereal.
16, 18 total, or 17 total, something like that.
In the ballpark. And obviously I'm not saying
Yeah.
we'll create stuff for all of them, but I am really looking forward to doing some planar stuff that's not just elemental. That's like ethereal, or from the Hells, or is Elysium one of them?
Yes, it is.
There's tons. I'm just gonna read up a bunch on the planes, and I think you know more than me anyway, don't you, Aston, in that regard? But like, I'm gonna read loads on it.
The planar stuff is some of my favorite canon D&D lore.
Yeah.
I play with it all the time. Also, yes, Emily, it will be posted live. It will be live on the YouTube channel for the foreseeable.
Yes. Okay, so that's planar ship, right? And then at 40k, we got Brave the Void, which was new spells and magic items sourced from the vast inky void of dark space added to the book. So, speaking of deployable black holes, this was... We always like to have, like, new spells, if we can. It's a little harder with something like Lodestar that isn't... With Fairy, it was very easy to come with lots of different spells, and even a whole new school of spells, like the Onomancy, Power of Naming school of spells that we had in that book, was a lot easier because the setting just kind of brings that about. But with a sort of space fantasy setting, kind of the part of the point is that you're just using... It's fantasy, so it's the existing spell lists are already what you want. But for the 40k stretch goal, we did want to have something that was going to drive like a theme there. And Void seems like one of the things inherent to the setting that would be really, really cool to wrap into spells and magic items. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like just yet, mechanically speaking. I've got some ideas. I assume you've got ideas as well, Aston.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I think potentially, at least in terms of how I've been thinking about it, the best kind of mirror to it would be probably a little bit like Critical Role's Graviturgy.
Yes, that kind of thing,
like,
a little bit.
Playing with like space-time fun stuff there.
Yeah. I think there's maybe like an eldritch side to it as well with Dark Space, because we want it to feel magical, and it having emotional characteristics to it beyond just it being a void.
Yes,
helps bring that about a little bit. 50k, you get Beware the Cyborg, which is another Aston original class, the Battle-Wrought Fighter, which we do have a version of that we can take a quick peek at while we're here. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. Quick, Aston, talk about soup again.
It's okay. I've already sent a soup emoji in the chat. I'm waiting for everyone to, respond in kind. Hannah is saying, can one of the magic items be space soup? At this point, you have to add soup into the book.
I'll add soup into the... I know Aston's going to fight me on it. I'll make sure soup gets in the book.
And I'll remove soup from the book.
I have final editorial control, so Aston won't be removing anything from the book related to soup, I'm afraid.
Soup emojis pouring in.
Here we go. Pouring in. Wow.
Hey.
An old one inspired by Marvel's Null. Yes, that would be rad as hell.
Super black hole.
Oh, God. Good stuff.
Oh,
soup will be in, I promise. You have to give the people what they want, Aston, alright?
You didn't with Fairy.
I did with a
They
bunch of.
really,
Listen, just because I missed one dragon, I'm not gonna
yeah,
have
but
you. I'm not gonna have you besmirch my good name. And everyone in the
they
chat will
wanted.
know when they see Soup in the book that I heard them and you did nothing but complain about it. All right, I'm on their side with this. Anyway, let's look at this thing you made. Um,
So,
talk us through it.
the- so the whole vibe of the Battle Wrought Fighter is a. It's a cyborg, but in the most piratey way possible. So it's less about kind of upgrading your body and more about as bits get kind of lopped off throughout your adventures and misadventures, you replace them with various augments. So obviously, it being a piratey book, the first thing you have to lose is your hand. And you've got some options there. I kind of, when I was walking through it, all of the options, I kind of wanted to make sure there was something for every playstyle. So the wrist-mounted magazine allows you to use ranged weapons and firearms more efficiently. Heavy-handed is kind of if you're going for your strength fighter build, and then chain hook is really all about like the grappling and mobility kind of vibe of things. So it's because I think that's kind of one issue with some fighter subclasses. I think wizards kind of fall into the trap a lot. Is everyone kind of assumes a lot of fighters are armor and greatsword kind of guys, when the class is very clearly built around the kind of flexibility of, do you want to play as a ranger? Do you want to play strength based, dex based? What kind of weapons do you want? And so the battle roar is designed to kind of fit all of those and has various kind of options. It's, in fact, I think the best way to describe it is it's based on the hunter. Is it the hunter? Is that what I'm thinking of?
The ranger subclass.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Where it's kind of piecemeal in terms of what you build. So you can have two battle wrought fighters that are both the same level but have chosen completely different options and therefore look completely different. And it's very fun and kind of modular in that way.
Yeah, so
But
we can see you get different hand augments to choose from, different eye augments to choose from, different leg augments to choose from. As you progress, I also kind of, as they're like, not only could you like lose these things as you go, which is obviously the funny way to play it, which is just that as you level up, you like predict the loss of certain limbs because you know you'll like you said before, Aston, like you know the level up's coming, so it's like I need to lose my hand pretty soon because I'm nearly level 3. But I think it's also fun to be able to play a character maybe that has already suffered these losses and is dealing with imperfect prosthetics or mundane ones.
So
and having a character
that
is like differently abled in that way, but can
and that's kind of included in the third level feature, augmented body.
Yes,
because it's one of the most frustrating things about anyone that has ever wanted to play kind of an amputee character in D&D is that for some reason replacement limbs take an attunement slot, which is just a huge nerf to any of those characters.
Feels so stupid to be like,
and also
yeah, that's so dumb.
And it's like, if you lose 2 arms, that's 2 of your attunement slots completely fucked.
It's such a kick in the teeth to be like, I'm sorry you can't have the extra magical weapon, but you should have been more careful when you got your arm chopped off at the elbow.
Yeah, so literally the first feature you get as a battle wrought fighter is just ripping that out. Any magic, it is also kind of slightly a buff for some of the higher level magic items, because I did realize after writing this, technically augmented body applies for Hand of Vecna, which means you don't need to attune to Hand of Vecna to be able to use it.
That's sick as hell.
Deeply funny, which means that you don't get any of the magical benefits of Hand of Vecna, but you've got just Vecna's hand.
That's rad. That's so cool.
And then later on at 15th level, you also kind of get the ability to kind of transformer vibe and just switch around. And again, might be a running theme in some of the subclasses that I design. I don't like being locked into a playstyle. I like the idea of flexibility and being able to switch things out on the fly, because I also think it really fits. Like,
well, yeah, if you're building for utility, it makes sense, right? Like if you're like the whole point of being like replacing your hand with a robot hand is bad in every way unless that hand can do a bunch of stuff your hand couldn't otherwise do, and it being able to switch between things is kind of like a big part of that.
Yeah, for sure. And then at 18th level, the big capstone is that you just fully become a construct. Just you are so robotic and adapted that you have kind of changed so much of your biology that you just count as a construct mechanically, which doesn't do much.
As well as your other type though. So it's not like you lose who you are and just become like a cold and feeling robot. It's just that
I'll be honest, the original draft that I played with beforehand did that. It just took away your original character type. But then I very quickly realized healing spells in 5e don't work on constructs.
Also, I don't think that's the fantasy of a cyborg. Like, if I want to play a robot, I'd play a robot. I don't want to play someone who's slowly losing their humanity. Well, if you did, you could do that with your own role, like RP and flavor. But if you're doing like a cyborg subclass, like I want to be a cool half robot. The coolest thing about being half a robot is not the fact that you're half robot; it's the fact that you're half human, or half humanoid.
Very
you know.
True.
Which is cool as hell. So there's a sneak peek. I'm going to take it away now because it's not technically even published. So you shouldn't be. Look away. Stop looking.
When it comes to the leveled augments, is there anything major that would stop a player from switching what limbs to you lose? So each of the augments is based on a level, and that's just because, like, for example, the 10th level augment is the leg. And
while we're talking about the leg, I just want to highlight this work in progress name that Aston's got for one of the legs that I've told him several times will have to change.
I'm leaving it as is.
Yeah, you're not leaving it as is. I mean, the fact that it's Rocket Peg and then it's immediately followed up by the Deck Gripper.
Deck Gripper? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have had any opinions on those things.
I disagree. Listen, I've been DMing for a long time. I know what happens if you put names like that in things.
I'm going to go back to answering this very well.
Yeah. Just forget I said Rocket Peg at all. Or Deck Gripper
in regards to the subclass that I spent a long time working on that you're just taking the piss out of in front of 30 strangers that I've never met. So there's nothing there's nothing technically stopping you except for the fact that the leveled augments are balanced for getting them at certain levels. For example, the 10th level leg augments would be arguably too powerful to get at level 3. But I guess, like, having a chat with your DM, if that's something that they would be okay with, there's nothing stopping you doing that. It probably would take a little bit of balance work to do. And also, the hand is first, very intentionally, because the hand kind of, in the same way that a lot of fighter subclasses, their 3rd level feature is the thing that defines their playstyle. That's the same with the battle wrought, whereas the 7th and 10th level augments, the eye and the leg, are more utility based than they are playstyle based.
It's also like it's easy to justify in the sense of if you say had already lost all of those limbs and were currently dealing with mundane prosthetics, I feel like it's easy to justify the leveling hierarchy because you're like, well, they get increasingly complex as they go. You know, like you have a small hand prosthetic or whatever, and then the next one you have is like your eye, which is smaller but way more complex, and then the final one is like a leg prosthetic, which is, or is that the leg's the final one, right? It's eye then leg, or is it leg then eye? Yeah, and it's like the leg's massive and it has. You know, so there's an easy way to justify that narratively for them getting upgraded in that order.
And also, I'd argue in terms of, like, priority as well. Because if I was a pirate, I'd need a hand before anything else.
Yeah, for sure. It's where all the cool stuff is, right off the bat.
It's very true.
So that's 50k. And then 75k we got Stowaway's Guide, which is less about adding stuff to the book and more just about like an ease of use thing. Which we did for Fairy and people really liked, and we did for Tempest as well, actually, didn't we?
I'll have you know that everyone really likes my ability names, so fuck you.
I know they like them, Aston. The problem was never that they were going to dislike them. The problem was what they sound like when we say them out loud and read them.
Someone said they're golden.
They are golden. So... I agree. They are golden. Rocket Peg will live in the halls of fame forever. Admittedly, it's just that, and Deck Gripper's not that bad. It's just that following Rocket Peg up with Deck Gripper is
sometimes
it's Monty Python-esque.
Sometimes I design things in a vacuum, and then I come out of that vacuum, and someone points something out, and I'm like, "Fuck, how did I not see that?"
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite. Whereas my head always lives outside of that. It's never pure. So, because I've been punished too many times in D&D games. But yeah, Stowaway's
Connor designed an entire port town called Bofa.
It wasn't called Bofa. I can't believe you brought this up. It wasn't called Bofa. We're not talking about this. It's fine. That's a warning, Aston. Is what that is. That's a strike one. Okay. So that will basically just be like the players, the stuff that's relevant to players. So if you wanted to run a Lodestar game and you wanted your players to be able to pick subclasses and backgrounds and feats and species and stuff like that, but not have any of the lore spoiled for them or any of those things, you can get the Stowaway's Guide, which will be that section of the book essentially like separated away that you can send as a PDF to your players to be like, look at this. Pick from these things, and then you don't have to worry that they're going to maybe see some of the lore you might have hid or like the bestiary or any of these things. Then at 100k, we got the Maritime Mecha.
Me and Howler are going to fall out before we move on to Mecha.
Do you know what, Howler? I agree. That is 2 strikes. I agree. Good point. Yeah. So now so Maritime Mecha. So this actually kind of does also similar to the playing a ship, right? Talking about munitions. The Maritime Mecha also talks about another thing, which is a part of our ship system called Ship Guardians, which is a pretty important part of the ship system, and it will be probably a lot more integral to the Lodestar ship system, which is that when we've run ship combats in the past, it's very difficult to not just have your player's ship and then an enemy ship, and it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, which can be fun. But D&D combats are all about choice, and sort of the best D&D combat is built of multiple bad guys, and having lots of different options and those kinds of things, and having like a puzzle to solve whilst the combat's going on through the tactics of strategy and stuff. And so Ship Guardians are a way of kind of getting essentially like smaller stat blocks on the field of battle for ship battles, without having to justify why like there's 3 boats that are really easy to kill and 1 boat that's really hard to kill, which you can kind of do a little bit but not too much. But Ship Guardians are essentially like deployable, smaller stat blocks. For example, the Mecha Ship Guardians will be like literally deployable people in deployable mechs that you can deploy during a ship battle that can't take on a boat by themselves, but they could help. That kind of thing. Am I explaining this right, Aston? Am I doing a good job?
I think so. Yeah, and I think they're, like you say, it provides a lot of fun options because Howler sucking up to me. It provides a lot of fun options because I think we've all been at a table where like we're doing kind of a big group thing, and like we've all got that one player that's like, I'm not directly involved in this, so I'm gonna kind of zone out a little bit. And
yeah,
no hate to those people because we've got one on our table, Joe.
Oh, damn it.
But it's always really nice to kind of give players like that just kind of, this is your stat block, you get to run this in this combat.
Yeah, and also like GMs, when you're prepping a combat, it's so much easier to, if you say you're prepping a combat, yes, like TIE Fighters, Emily, exactly, where it's like, you've got two Star Destroyers going at each other, and it's like, how do we make this more fun? Add a bunch of TIE fighters in, like add a bunch of these like dogfighter style, much smaller vessels. That we wanted to add to Tempest, and we did to a certain extent, but it was much harder with like a more traditional maritime setting to justify a lot of that. But in space fantasy, oh my god, easy. We've got tons. There's like, it's like the Silk Shark swarm that you guys discovered as part of the adventure. That will probably end up being like a deployable ship guardian, like a swarm of sharks you can control during a ship battle and things like that. And it just opens up the book massively to all of this other like really cool shit you can do with a ship that's beyond just like firing the ship's guns and doing all the cool maneuvering stuff. And like Aston said, it also gives both GMs and players like additional things to do and control, almost like summons in a way. So that's the first half of this. The second half of this is mech suit mechanics, which we've spoken a little bit about internally, but haven't fully decided what exactly that's going to look like. Although I think we've both got a pretty decent idea of what we want, right? Like, we know...
Yeah, I think in terms of, like, type of mech, in terms of, for people thinking about other media, it's less Gundam or Megazord, and it's more Titanfall.
Yeah.
So, in combat, the issue is, very quickly, if you give players a mech that they can just live in all the time, how do you stop that player then just becoming the most powerful player at the table?
Yeah.
Or, alternatively, does that then kind of remove the need for that player to have a class? Because if they're piloting a mech, how are they going to be using their wizard spells? So, in terms of in combat, the mechs are going to be kind of... I think we've decided they're going to be more like short-term buffs, so they can be temporarily deployed in ground combat, rather than they just appear for the full combat.
Yeah, we're going to have to, like, that. It's going to take some real testing to figure out what's the best way. Maybe there's different versions of them, different things, like... We're going to have to see. And it could be that there are some more, like, high-level versions of them where it is okay if they just are fully, like, orbital drop shock, like, Titanfall mechs that you can get in. But again, stick around for the playtesting, because I'm sure they will appear at some point.
Yeah.
Because every time there's mechanics we're the least certain about, it's the stuff we end up testing
they're the
most.
Yeah, it's like, please tell us this works.
Yeah.
Boarding will be a thing. Me and Connor have talked about this a whole bunch.
Yes.
Because
Tempest had a boarding system.
Yeah, and we're kind of riffing off it. It's not going to be word for word the Tempest boarding system, because there were some things we didn't like about it, some things we wanted to improve on.
It had a really cool rock paper scissors style way of handling like two crews fighting each other, so that a DM doesn't have to run 500 like characters, where each crew would pick a stance that was essentially like rock paper scissors. So it was like defensive, offensive, or balanced, I think. Was that it? Something like that. And each one like beat another one.
It was aggressive, defensive, or treacherous.
Yes, that was it. And then they would make a roll off against each other, and whoever wins that roll sort of wins the round, and you lose a bit of crew and you lose a bit of ground and that kind of thing. Which we're thinking going to implement again, because it just worked very well as a way of like giving something some mechanics without it having to become, you know, just a headache. Because it's one of the reasons DMs... This is a wider point to make about ship combat in D&D. It's one of the reasons DMs don't fucking do it, is because it's so... With a lot of the stuff that's available, it's just such a headache. It's like so much stuff to do. It's like, why would you ever want to do it when you can just hand wave it? So we want to make sure that we're creating stuff that really like does that work for you, so that you don't have to do it at the table, and justifies enough things, and you know, it's still fun and you can roll a dice, but it's not like the whole thing. That combat is like, okay, and now it's turn number 63 and it's crew member number 1 again, you know, or whatever. Yes, Joe Byrne said that Spelljammer had Astral, Elven Spirit Warriors. Spirit Warrior,
yes.
I'm a big fan of Spirit Warriors. Obviously we'll be doing our own thing with the mechs, but But I'm sure some of the mechanics, if you were to say use Lodestar to run a Spelljammer game, you might be able to just use some of our mech mechanics to do a 5e/2024 Spirit Warrior thing. Yeah, and maybe we might have like a bigger mech in there at some point. Who knows? I do have mechanics for those that I've been working on since we had them in a home game.
Yeah. In terms of when Guardians are defeated, it depends on the Guardian. So if they're kind of magically summoned, a lot of the time they will disappear and just have to recharge over a day.
Mm-hmm.
If they are like natural creatures,
like
often,
Dragon Riders or
yeah,
Silt Sharks,
if they die, you better go and rescue them. Like
yeah.
if they're reduced to 0 hit points, they're kind of stranded. So you kind of have to sail your ship over them to kind of collect them, and then over time they will heal.
Yeah.
If you're playing a mech and you've got a player in it, you better go and fucking rescue that mech if it hits 0, because otherwise you've got a player death on your hands. So
yeah.
it is definitely going to be... It's not just going to be kind of hand-waved where if they hit 0, they reappear back on the ship, but it's also not going to be incredibly punishing where if they hit 0, they're just gone.
Yeah. Bang on.
There is, as of right now, Dashing to Japan, there is not. We don't sell the players' PDFs.
Yeah, they're more of a
individually
campaign benefit than...
Yeah, they are campaign exclusives, generally.
Yeah. But if you wanted to, like, you can kind of semi do it. Won't be as like they won't be hyperlinked in the same way and stuff, but and the spells will be it'll be a bit janky, but you can always like duplicate the PDF and then cut all of the stuff you want out of it. Like I assume it's the same on Windows, but on Mac you can just like literally delete pages. So just delete all the stuff you don't want and then kick the rest to your players.
Yeah, you just need to download like a free PDF editor and you can rip out all the stuff that you don't want them seeing.
Yeah. And obviously we don't want people pirating our books and stuff like that, but if you're at a table full of people and you want to... people are going to do it anyway, so you may as well do it the right way.
Yeah,
you know?
If you're at a table full of people, we don't expect every individual person at that table to buy the book.
It would be wicked if you did, because it supports us, but it's absolutely chill if the DM buys it and then you want to just chop up the PDFs and send them to your players. We get it. We do it, so I'm not going to talk shit about people doing it with our stuff. So yes, those are the Maritime Mecha. Rad as hell. Really stoked for that. Then we've got the Beyond the Beyond, Eldritch Beings, aberrations from deep space, aberrant magic items, and spells added to the book. So this is more of your like Great Old One kind of stuff. This is the Cthulhu stuff that we want to
really,
bring in.
What is space without unknown horrors?
Yes, it's important.
It's also, I think, a lot of like 5e's aberrations creature type look like aliens anyway. Like beholders and mind flayers and shit. They're basically aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, mind flayers are, aren't they? I think, did mind flayers debut in Spelljammer? I feel like maybe they did.
That's a good question.
Maybe they did, or maybe they were talked of. They got a significant amount of their lore came from from Spelljammer. So yes, there will be. So for this one, it basically just means we're going to commit a real decent lore chunk to talking about some of those potential beings, what they might look like. The bestiary will have... Obviously, we can't do mind flayers because they're not SRD, which breaks my heart because, God, I love them. They're my number ones. I've tried to kill my players so many times with mind flayers. I did kill you, Aston, once with one.
Yeah.
It ate your brain like soup.
Yeah, it turns out, guys, just small bit of advice. If you're playing a sorcerer, don't get into melee with a mind flayer.
Let alone 7.
Yeah, I don't know if that needs to be said out loud, but just going to put that out there.
Yeah. And also, for the people who maybe don't know the lore, if a mind flayer eats your Is it? No. If you get turned into a mind flayer, your soul gets destroyed.
Yeah, which means you can't be resurrected.
Yeah.
That was real touch and go for a moment.
It was. There was a
Yeah.
couple. Yeah. Woo. We got
At
close.
in what, the 3rd year of the 4-year campaign that
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Howler, correct. Brain soup.
Brain soup. But yes, but we will have other aberrations. And I don't know about you, Aston, but I've been really thinking that it'd be cool to draw a lot of inspiration from deep sea fish for those.
Yeah.
Like that be the way that we lean aesthetically.
Yes, for sure.
Because I think there's a ton of stuff in the deep ocean that makes for perfect. It's why mind flayers look like squids. It's why Cthulhu looks like that. You know, it's
Yeah, because it's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
We've known that, like, culturally, we've known that for a long time.
Yeah, but it's also familiar enough that you're like, it doesn't feel impossible. It's like touches on something a bit primal. And then
Hey, Emily, look, it wasn't that bad of an idea.
It was a bad idea.
Yeah,
it was always a bad idea. They
it
were
was a super
assaulting
bad
a mind flayer fortress, and everyone in the world had told them that they needed to rush past the main gate to get in, like through the door as quickly as possible. And Aston decided that what that meant was fight all of them on the gate. Yeah. And they had
teleported on top of the gate.
They had like
where all of the
psionic
mind flayers were.
cannons and stuff. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
It was. You died.
Yeah. Oh, and that was the same. Yeah. I died while I was psionically linked to a dinosaur, like the biggest dinosaur on the island. So when I died, the dinosaur went ballistic.
Oh shit. D&D fucking slaps. This game's wicked. I tell you, just role playing game. This is amazing. This is so good. Where else do you say that was a thing that happened?
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you've heard of this really fun game. It's called D&D.
Wicked.
You should all give it a go.
Okay, so that's Beyond the Beyond, obviously, and then magic items and spells. I'm not sure what the spells are going to look like, but I feel like we'll do them last because I think like all of this other stuff's going to inform what the spells look like, which is exciting.
Based on creature abilities.
Yeah, and just what we go with for the vibe for like, because I think psionics will obviously be a part of the book, so figuring out what we want that to look like. Well, I think we can do I know you don't like psionics. I like the vibe of psionics. I don't necessarily like all the mechanics because the mechanics are just like spells without any of the restrictions. But maybe we could figure out a way to do our own take on psionics that actually feels, you know.
9th level spell, summon Cthulhu.
I don't know how well Cthulhu would do in space. He comes out the ocean, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't need to breathe. So
yeah. Yeah, but would it not end up like, you know, those videos of cats in zero gravity?
just spinning.
It's just
his tentacles splayed.
Just an elder god just like really uncomfortably like T-posing. Oh yeah, Blazrath. We had a monster in Tempest called the Castaway that was like an eel with a really long tongue, and at the end of the tongue it had like a fleshy lure that looked like a guy, like a shipwrecked sailor on a plank of wood. That was like, and the monster was called the Castaway. So I think
if you Google Tempest Castaway, you can find that on Reddit because it was posted in the lead up to.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so you can go have a look at that. That's out there. So yeah, I think doing like the creepy grandma from SpongeBob, basically.
I was gonna say I was wondering if you were gonna name drop the creepy grandma from SpongeBob.
She comes up all the time. It's like the 6th time I feel like we spoke about her when it comes to monster design. Because Fairy has a bunch of shit like that as well.
Like the Habitrot is just the creepy grandma.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
Me and Connor really like the SpongeBob movie.
I just think it's incredible when someone comes up with a design for something that's so evocative that it changes how you think about monsters in general as a concept, you know? It's really cool. Yes, okay, and then 200k we got X marks the spot, which is printable treasure maps and accompanying encounters added to the tiers, and then available as an add-on. So they'll be available as an add-on in the Pledge Manager. But essentially these are like I was going to say 1-page encounters, but they're 2 pages because you've got the treasure map and the encounters. But the way we did something similar with Tempest, and the way they end up working is that some of them, a bunch of them are like split up into segments, aren't they? So the intent is that players find pieces of this map, and then eventually that said map leads them to treasure or trouble or an encounter of some kind, and it will be accompanied by like a 1-page adventure encounter piece that just sort of makes it really simple for DMs to run.
Yeah, and I think like as a DM, they kind of fill 2 purposes. One of which is sometimes you just need something that isn't connected to the main story for players to do for a little bit.
Yeah,
and they're great. They're great for that because they will come with like recommended loot at the end.
mm-hmm.
But also sometimes you need your players to get their hands on a MacGuffin, and you don't know how to get their hands on said MacGuffin. And so these are essentially side quests, I guess would be the best way to explain them.
Yeah,
like they're never going to be your big narrative campaigns, but they're going to be like fun little additions that you can sprinkle throughout for a player to go on and find. And
yes.
If you want to plant some narrative stuff in there, you can.
Yeah. And they're basically like printable props that you can make that if you wanted to. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to coffee and tea stain them, I'll add like aged textures to them so that when you print them, they can print off like looking like old paper. But my advice would be like crumple them up, weather them, and then you've got at table props. Or they'll work digitally as well because they're printable. They'll work. You can send them over Discord or whatever as well as like, you know, digital props for your game, ready to go, which I'm really stoked about. And also, I feel like I learned some stuff doing the ones for Tempest that I'm excited to like change up a little bit for these ones. I think these ones are going to be much better in a lot of ways, especially the encounters that go along with them. And then finally, the goal that I can't believe we hit, 250,000, the Standee shipyard, which came about because
just earlier someone asked which ones did we not think we would hit. Anything over 150k was really like, okay, sure. I guess we got there.
I bet that, yeah, like I said, I bet that we'd make 180k, and the only reason I bet that high is because Aston wouldn't let me bet lower.
Yeah. If anyone's in the Discord, there was a reason you guys had to wait so long to see the new stretch goals, and that was because we ran out.
Yeah, we didn't think it was. We didn't think that this was gonna get where it got. Yeah, I'm still shook. Very, very grateful, but utterly surprised.
200 was our like ridiculous aspirational stretch goal. And
yeah.
then it kept going.
Yep. 250,000 is really just. I mean, we're extremely grateful. Like, the best job in the world. But yes, so the final one was the Standee shipyard, which came about because basically like a bunch of people were asking for Standees, and me and Aston made the realization that, like, so the ship system we are building, for those of you that got the ship miniatures, those will be like 3D printable miniatures for our system, but our system uses a hex map, and obviously has its own. It's got like its own scale, its own minis. It really is like it's almost like a separate system as part of it. They'll be relevant enough that you can step in pretty easily from D&D, but because of that, a lot of people were asking for like basically like card Standee miniatures, and we thought it'd be a great opportunity to potentially, you know, have just a really cheap alternative to the 3D printing, because not everyone wants the 3D print, not everyone's got the time or like the means or whatever. So this way you can print them out on cardstock if you've got it, would be ideal, but paper would probably work decently as well. Well, they'll be designed to like fold in half, and then they'll just be ready to go, and you can slot them into like hexagon bases if you can, but we'll have. We've never done Standees before, so it's a thing we're going to have to look into, but I'm kind of stoked because when we did the ship system for Tempest, I bought a bunch of ship minis for our home game, and putting them together and painting them was an absolute nightmare. Like, they weren't made for that. They were like made for a nautical, like a historical war game.
And also very early on, because we've only ever done one miniature, like physically.
Yeah.
And very early on, we talked about doing ship miniatures, and we very quickly came to the conclusion that it is such a nightmare to ship.
Yes.
But not intended.
Yeah.
Like, because to have boats, you need sails and all of these little details.
Yeah.
That if you're shipping long distances, you either have to make them
modular, like come
disassemble.
apart. Yeah.
Yeah, like people like Warhammer do, or you have to package them so well and be so careful with them.
Yeah.
And that is like
that like triples
just
the cost
something-
for people. Like it triples
Yeah.
the cost of the minis on a consumer side, which is just
Yeah.
doesn't feel fair to anyone, really.
Yeah, and standees are really like it's just such an easy alternative because you might want like a really nice ship mini for your main like your main party's ship, but if the DM's got to run a 7 different ship combats over 10 different sessions, they're not going to get custom hand painted minis for every one.
Yeah.
But this way we can get like a big selection into your guys' hands in a very easy way.
Plus I get to do a bunch of 2D little boat illustrations, which will be fun.
Which, as you can see just throughout the campaign page, Connor's gotten really good at.
I used to hate drawing boats.
Connor's great at boats. He's done
I'm getting better.
He's done a whole book of boats.
I'm getting better, yeah. It's very not. It's cool as an illustrator to just be forced into this thing where it's like, okay, you have to just draw 50 of a thing you don't super enjoy drawing, because by the end of it, well, you either love it or you're good at it or both, which is great. That's a win-win either way. Yeah, I'm super stoked to get so the ship STL minis. There'll be a bunch of like obviously ships in there, but we're also gonna do there'll be some hazards in there and stuff, because a big part of the system is like like asteroids and black holes and stuff. So there'll be hexagon minis for like asteroid swarms and things like that to go with the system. So yeah, I'm really stoked to get them modelled. I've already got a bunch of 3D artists in mind for those. Though I haven't found someone who's maybe perfect. I know I've got a couple of people that are I think are really good at ships, actually. I'd forgotten. No, there are a couple of people who I specifically found out who are like, that's their thing. It's like they're really dope at little ships. But especially because they're tiny as well. Like most of the ship minis you get are pretty big. But these are like, they go on a 1-inch hex. So they're adorable little tiny like salt sails, which is rad. Yeah.
A 3D printable soup, Howler said.
Well, listen, never say never, and I think with the right kind of painting, like the black hole hazard or whatever, probably will look a lot like soup. So and then the final stretch goal that we didn't quite reach was the stellar shanties that we spoke about. But who knows? Maybe one. At the very least, I think we'll probably gonna work up like community playlists, which will be a Discord thing that we'll release and stuff like that. It might even be worth having a page on the website that is all about community resources that are like free resources that we don't have to worry too much about, like we were saying about like the spell list and stuff that's not SRD, but we just could give away for free. That might be a cool, and maybe like a soundtrack would be like we could put them there as well.
Vinde, you got Tempest, right? Like I remember us having a chat in the Discord, and I'm pretty sure you got Tempest. Break glass in case of emergency. I'm 90% sure it was a magic item in Tempest.
I think there is actually a ship in a bottle.
I know it was in the campaign. I just can't. Now I'm saying it out loud.
Oh, maybe it isn't.
I can't remember if it ever made it into the book. Which, if it didn't, we've got a magic item sorted for Lodestar already.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like deployable boat grenade.
No, it wasn't in Tempest.
Oh yeah, that was a whole thing in our home game, wasn't it? Because you had to go rescue your ship from the wreck of bottles.
Yeah, because it was just in a bottle somewhere.
Which is funny because I talk about how much I'm not a massive fan of Pirates of the Caribbean 4, and there I've just gone and ripped a whole bloody plot point from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because hey, good DMs, they steal at the end of the day. That's what it's all about.
But except from Disney, we'd never steal from Disney.
No, Mickey, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Disney and Hasbro, those two, never.
God. Imagine the horror of just turning my lights off as I go to bed tonight, tucking myself in, and then just hearing like, in the dark.
I just found out that Connor can do a pretty decent Mickey Mouse impression.
That's the last of it you'll ever hear.
Along with all of you. Well, it's not mind. Connor, because this video is going to be live.
Good. I want to build up. I want to slowly over the course of my career just build up a weird body of evidence as to what's going on in my shattered psyche. Right. Well, that's the stretch goals. That's the preview. We've been on for like 2.5 hours now, which is quite a long time.
Every time we do one of these streams, we're like, we'll go for an hour and a half.
Yeah, but at least we didn't start at like midnight this time, so it's actually still a reasonable hour.
Yeah. That's true.
So I think maybe I should roll the dice for our.
I'd forgotten that
choose
was
your
the
own
thing we
adventure.
needed to do.
Yeah.
I was like, get ready to go to bed now.
Which is, I'm gonna roll. I'm doing another little quick pre-roll, so we can see how I'm rolling. I rolled a natural 1 at the start of the stream. Let's see what the next pre-roll is saying. I rolled an 8. Okay, so we're moving on up. We're moving on up. Okay.
I did a practice roll and I got an 11.
You got an 11?
Yeah.
Oh, good lord. Okay, so the final bonus. Actually, I can go. Yeah, can't I?
Are you gonna go full DM mode and describe it?
The final bonus. Don't try and ask a question that's really not a question.
No, fair.
So I'll set the stakes. I think it's important to set the stakes before we do any rolling. Do you want to talk about what treasure is at stake, Aston?
Yes. So
all of before you say this, all of the stuff that you found during your journey, that's secured. Everything that's been found has been. It will be in the book.
Yes. And also, regardless of what you roll on the final dice, you will find within the golden chest that you just harpooned a number of Kraken-themed magic items. But should you succeed on the final roll, based on all of your bonuses and the current DC, you will find a number of schematics and Kraken pieces to graft to the Dawnstar and other boats of Lodestar. So we're talking like Nautiloid style tentacles, Kraken ink, jettison munitions, things like that.
Yeah.
Which is different from like scavenge pieces because these are a little bit more alive than some of the other pieces you might add to the book.
The name of the treasure at the heart of the Dying Star, being guarded by the Kraken, is the loot of the Kraken Tamer. There's a reason the Dawnstar had to make its way past the Kraken to get to the heart of that star. And now we are going to find out just how well we fare. So the bonus you've managed to achieve by
yes, and there will be a recipe for Kraken soup.
Yes,
only if you roll a nat 20.
No. If we succeed, there'll be a recipe for Kraken soup somewhere. I don't know if it'll be in the book or if we'll post it in the Discord. But I will write a recipe for Kraken soup. Absolutely. Someone better be writing this down because I'm diagnosed with ADHD, so I'm saying a lot of stuff that I'm going to forget. Not because I don't want to do it, but...
Did we decide on what the nat 20 was?
Yes, we did. If we get a nat 20, we are also going to do like a full little stat packet thing for the Dawnstar. So the Dawnstar will obviously feature in the book. There's no need to worry about that. But if we get a nat 20 on the roll, we will it'll be a much more substantial little supplement thing about the Dawnstar. Okay. Woo. So, thanks to
Nat
all of
20
you
is a live video of us making Kraken soup.
completing the challenges. You've managed to garner a total of a +5. No, sorry, it'll be a +6 bonus because you also succeed on the final challenge. So it'll be a +6 bonus to the roll. You got a +1, so it's 5 from the challenges, and then you got a +1 because you chose to study, to like research and prep in the little bit of downtime you had before getting to the treasure, which granted you an additional +1. Okay, the DC for this roll, to see just how much of the treasure you make it out of there with, is a DC 15. And you are...
So a 9 or higher.
A 9 or higher is what you need to succeed. A 9 or higher. So... That's me. Right. Just get ready to roll.
And say Vindace has just put in the Discord telling people that the final roll is happening. So vamp for a minute.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, we can wait. We can wait. I can hold off.
And it forces all of the people currently here to wait in.
I love that you said
Anticipation.
vamp, and then immediately people start just you and everyone else starts posting soup emojis. Great.
Yeah. Obviously. Can I make an argument for advantage on the roll since the capstan has not been used and can be used to make a quick escape? Ooh, interesting.
Let me check something before I say yes to anything. Wait there, 1 second. While I check. Where is? This is like my real DMing, where someone asks me a question, then I have to literally make a bunch of ha noises while I look up something.
I also really respect the. You can tell that that person plays D&D, bargaining with the DM just before.
Do you know what?
Important role is about to be made.
I think the fact that you guys all didn't elect to use the capstan of teleportation until now means that advantage is fair. I respect that bartering. I respect it and I agree to it. That's reasonable.
In that case, do you want to roll one and I'll roll the other?
Before anyone, we can let chat decide. We can let the community decide. Before anyone does that, I just want you to know Aston rolls like absolute dog shit. I just want you to be aware of that.
Statistically, I do, but that means
Aston rolls like
due
ass.
a win. I'm due.
You've been saying due a win since that mind player sucked your brains out of your nostrils like ramen.
And I haven't had one yet. Therefore.
Okay, I'll just say, if you want Aston to do one of the roles, then put soup emojis in.
Let Aston roll both.
I'm gonna veto that and say no, just for your guys' benefit.
Hold on, I'm gonna do a prep roll and just let you know how we're doing.
Yeah, what are we feeling like?
That was a nat 1.
No, it wasn't. Was it actually? So you say on this stream, me and you have rolled 3 dice and 2 of them have been a nat 1.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That does not feel good.
Oh. Lots of super emojis coming in.
Okay.
Me and Howler, we've made peace.
Okay. Well, okay. We'll let Aston roll one of them then.
Do you want to go
seems
first or
fair.
second?
I feel like we should go at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll do 3, 2, 1. I'll do
Okay,
3,
do you
2,
want me
1, and then we'll roll
Okay,
together.
I hold on. I will change dice.
Okay. You're gonna change what to a dice that you think is more weighted in your favour?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna use. I've got my Ash dice, which is my character from Connor's last major campaign.
Oh, okay. Yes, use the Ash dice. I'm using the Hoku dice. So it rolled 2 nat 20s for me the other day.
It did.
It did. It's been rolling hot. All right, ready? I'm gonna count down.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, roll. What did you get?
+5 bonus.
+6 bonus.
+6 bonus.
+6 bonus.
11.
With the +6, you got an 11.
Yeah.
Oh, Aston. Well, lucky for you, I rolled 18 +6. So I got a 24. I also videoed it just in case on my phone so that there'd be evidence. Well, I'll post in the Discord. But an 18 for a 24, which means you guys get all of the treasure. No nat 20, unfortunately, but there can't be one. There was one at the end of last campaign, but there can't be one at the end of every campaign. That's not. Otherwise, they wouldn't be special. But a fucking success. You did it. You got the Dawn Star out of there. You got the treasure. There's a win across the board.
No, Kitsu, you're not dying. You got advantage on the final roll, and I rolled an 11. Connor rolled a natural 18.
I tried to tell everyone you roll like ass, and everyone's still there wanted to play the little game where you get to roll. They didn't understand how bad it was.
And then they immediately turned on me. Vindace immediately said, "Who let Aston roll?" You guys voted for this.
Oh, got the makings of great soup in you. Good, excellent. I don't know how long ago you thought of that, and we're just holding on to it, but good, very good. Right then, well, congratulations, everybody.
Beware the soup borg.
Oh god, there's something there. There is some. I nearly said Cybole, but I don't think that really makes sense. I agree, Cameron. Never let Aston roll. Or roll, either of the two. Right. Well, I think it's past 10 o'clock here, so I think that's probably. I think that might be the end of the stream, the official end of the stream, end of the campaign. We ended on a good roll. You got the loot of the Kraken Tamer. There'll be a full lowdown on this in an upcoming update. I'll probably get that done tomorrow morning before I sort of take the week off. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone who backed. Thank you, everyone who didn't back and was just sort of, hung out. This is incredibly exciting. This will be the first project Aston will be working on full time, which is incredibly exciting. It's like just absolutely life-changing thing for us.
Yeah, it's really been it's been a huge goal for a long time.
Truly. And
just for some probably needed context, I've been working nights for the entire time the Dragon's Vault has been a thing.
Yeah.
So it's slowly ruining my my person.
Yeah.
And I finished my last shift this morning. So I am now officially full-time Dragon's Vault.
Woo! To the stars, baby.
Yeah, Cam, you're right. If it's bad, it's my fault because I have more of a hand in it.
True. That's true. That's actually true. That is actually true. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I just want to say, if anyone, I know there were a lot of questions, and I think we got to them all. but also there are people still kind of hopping in as they finish work.
Or if you're watching
if you
this
don't-
as like as a video, it'd be crazy.
Oh,
I
that's
wouldn't be crazy, but if you're this
That's-
deep into a video that you've watched on
Yeah,
YouTube of the live stream,
Hello.
hi,
to
you're
the future.
crazy.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
In that case, feel free to just jump in the Discord, ask questions. We are around a lot of the time, not all of the time, but when we're not around, there'll be someone in the community that has probably asked the question before.
Yeah.
We have a very helpful, very lovely community that answers questions for us, and
Yes.
usually doesn't get anything wrong.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Actually, no,
Yeah.
I disagree. They're stupid. They say stupid things. all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. I hate
Yeah.
all of them. Please, that's not true. Please,
It's
please
gonna be like Scooby Doo, where Fred gets cut out of context.
yeah.
Scooby Doo 2.
Great
Anyway,
movie.
with that deep reference, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for backing. We've had an insane month. We've had a lovely day. We'll do another one of these streams at some point. I don't know when. At some point. But we always have fun with them. So
in the new year.
maybe. Let's say let's say once the ship system is out in a playtest thing, maybe we do one then, and we can talk through questions people have, and maybe even like do a bit of building together, like if people have mechanical ideas and stuff like that, and thoughts.
That could be fun.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
A little bit more of a dev stream than something we've done before.
Yeah. People can because everyone has great ideas all the time. So
And maybe we'll do it at a bit more of a reasonable time for 80% of our audience next time.
no, the Americans can listen to us at work or not at all. I'm joking,
no,
maybe.
valid.
Well, you work days now, mate. You're a day walker now, so you can't do these late streams. Can't be doing it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Anyone in the Discord that's American, you have to message on British working time only, or I will be ignoring all of your questions.
That's not true. But we might be late. And if we don't answer your question within, like, I would say a week, ping it or ask it again, because it means we missed it. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, I have a really bad habit of opening notifications, going to reply, getting distracted, and then not ever getting
So
back
just
to
give it a
because
week and then tell us again.
Yeah. Because sometimes in my head I reply, and it turns out you guys can't read my mind.
Yes. Right. We're gonna head off. Thank you for everyone who stopped by, and for making this campaign a huge success. I can't wait. I can't wait to share Lodestar with you, and for those that back to previous books and all this kind of thing. Like, it means the world. It means the world. Yeah. Right. That's the 3-hour mark, almost exactly. I think since the stream started. Boom. Yeah, we'll see you all in the Discord and updates and whatnot and stuff. Thanks for being
Have
here.
a lovely weekend, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.